Group station. It's news time on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.
Good morning, I'm John Schaefer. A 17-year-old boy was killed, his father injured in a shooting when they confronted a man they suspected of stealing their family's truck. The teen died at the scene of the Saturday morning shooting in North Las Vegas. His father taken to a hospital and is expected to survive. Cigarette and cigar smokers can be common in Nevada, where no law prohibits a gambler from lighting up. But some longtime card dealers, bar employees, health advisors, and researchers say secondhand smoke has made them sick. Many otherwise healthy people who never smoked are being diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and heart disease. They say they love their jobs, but the environment is unhealthy. Holiday travelers returning to California from the Las Vegas area caused a severe backup lasting for more than 20 miles. The westbound lanes of the 15 moved at a trickle Sunday as the Thanksgiving holiday weekend wrapped up. Nevada Highway Patrol had to warn drivers not to use the shoulder to bypass traffic. With a check on our weather, here's News 3's Kelly Curran.
We're looking at partly sunny skies to get things going, but mostly sunny for the rest of the day. Highs today expected to top out only in the upper 50s across the area, and winds will be light out of the east. Keep listening for more updates throughout the day from News 3, your weather authority.
Partly sunny, 41 in Las Vegas. I'm John Schaefer on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDON, Las Vegas' only FM news talk station. With a look at the roads, here's John Michaels in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report is paid for by Doctor-Patient Unity. An accident reported on Cheyenne Avenue at Nellis Boulevard. Injury sustained. Still active watch for slowing in the area. Possible lane restrictions. Also, an injury crash at Smoke Ranch at Jones Boulevard. And slowing on I-15 southbound. Still from the Spaghetti Bowl to about Spring Mountain, but the recovery from this morning's rush hour is well underway. As surprise medical bills bankrupt Americans, Jackie Rosen stands with doctors to remove patients from billing disputes. She demands insurance companies pay their fair share and opposing their rate-setting proposal to cover less medical care. Tell Jackie Rosen thank you and keep fighting. I'm John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
It's open enrollment season, and Medishare is the Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google Medishare and see if it's a fit for you. Medishare, healthcare you can believe in.
I'm Jim Snyder.
And I'm Marie Mortera. We want to thank you for making News 3 your #1 choice for news.
You can count on us to have the big story of the day.
Plus breaking news that matters to you.
News 3 live at 11 with Jim Snyder and Marie Mortera, leading the way in Las Vegas.
Listen to the Texas Corners Bible Church every Saturday night at 11 p.m. and Sunday night at 10 p.m. on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON.
Hi, Doug Basham here. Join me Saturday afternoons from 2 to 4, and I'll tell you what your conservative, corporate-controlled, right-wing propaganda hate media isn't. You're welcome. That's Saturday afternoons, 2 to 4. Be there.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. The world is changing. Isn't it time smoking changed too? Vuse Alto is a vapor product offering you a satisfying alternative to cigarettes. Simple to use, surprisingly quiet, and impressively powerful. Our best vapor yet at our best price ever, 99 cents, plus tax at participating retailers. 99-cent offer applies to Alto device. Pods sold separately. Underage sale prohibited.
Tina Trenner is back, and she's on 720 AM, 101.5 FM, KDWN every Sunday at 12 p.m. She's sick of the nonsense and has something to say every Sunday at 12 p.m.
Your dental benefits may expire soon, and now's the perfect time to use them before they do. AQ Dental Services has the experience and on-site lab to help make your smile reflect a new and improved you. AQ Dental has an on-site tooth designer, 3D scanner, and they can craft the smile of your dreams. Make an appointment today at 702-565-6000. If you have a problem with your teeth and you don't know what to do, pick up the phone and call AQ. 702-565-6000. 702-565-6000. Or visit aqdentureservice.com.
Hi, this is Harvey Blankfeld, host of Las Vegas Real Estate Now. We are saying farewell to Tuesdays at 9 a.m. and moving to Saturdays at 11 a.m. Please do tune in every Saturday at 11 a.m. and learn about real estate right here on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDON, the talk of Las Vegas.
Las Vegas's only FM news talk station is right here. The new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON. The opinions of the hosts on KDWN are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of this station, its management, or Beasley Media Group. Right now, the day's biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
All right, what's up, Vegas? It is good to be back. Sharp and Shapiro live at you on a Monday. Hope everybody had a fantastic Turkey Day and Thanksgiving. I hope everybody got fat like me. It's good to be back, though, man. It's good to be back here in studio across the table. My co-host, of course, JD Sharp. Had a fun vacation, but it is back to work. Back at it, man. And we have a lot to talk about, a lot to go over. News, politics, teachers going on racist rants. You name it, we've got it today. We even get as far as talking a little Kid Rock action. JD, how's it going? How was your Thanksgiving?
I cannot wait to talk some Bob Ritchie, Brian. Some Detroit-bred Bob Ritchie. It was okay. It was fine.
Good.
Bet a lot of sports.
You know, it's funny you mentioned sports because I take a vacation. And within 48 hours of my vacation, I find out UNLV's head coach is going to be fired. And I assumed, and we're talking football, obviously. I'm not talking T.J. Otzelberger. Although if he keeps going the way he's going, it might not last very long either.
He did beat Jackson State.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll get to that in a little bit, but let's focus on the football first. So, yeah, they announced Francois. She just does things that I just don't understand. Then again, that's the entire UNLV athletic department over the course of the last 20 years I've been here. She decides to announce that they're letting Tony Sanchez, the football coach, go, basically 2 weeks before the season ends, which makes absolutely no sense to me. Why you wouldn't wait till the end of the year and the most important game of the year against Nevada Reno. It's completely asinine. It doesn't make any sense. So I was not surprised that they fired him because I thought that was the right thing to do. But to do it 2 weeks before the season ends, to me, is just absolutely and utterly ridiculous. So that happens. And Tony Sanchez, they beat Nevada over the weekend, and it was a good game. It went down to the wire. It's nice that they beat their in-state rival, but it was only their fourth win of the season. So can we stop making it out to be like they just won a bowl game? They were not even close to being bowl eligible. It was another embarrassing season where they had a couple really, really embarrassing losses. The bottom line is Tony Sanchez didn't get it done, okay? He just didn't get it done. So what do? By the way, I really don't read articles in the Review Journal. I think I read a few articles during the Dave Rice era when they were talking UNLV basketball. I honestly have not read one Review Journal article in probably close to a decade. So my producer comes up to me and he says, Brian, did you see this article that Ed Graney wrote about UNLV football? I said, oh, no. What did he say? Because I've always considered Ed Graney to be an ass kisser. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say something that I don't believe. Ed Graney is an ass kisser, and I believe him to be a buffoon. And I'll explain why in a moment. But he writes this article about Tony Sanchez because I would imagine he was at the game at Reno, and he's covering Tony Sanchez's last game in the Tony Sanchez era. The front of the article says, a strong goodbye. So it's almost like he wrote a sad novel, like a romantic novel. So I want to read you some passages from the Ed Graney article, Tony Sanchez. The final image at UNLV is one of triumph and closure. Brought to you by Ed Graney of the Las Vegas Journal, or Junior, whatever you want to call them. Here we go. He ran across the rigid turf, made even more unforgiving by the bitter cold. His arms... Stop laughing, JD. You're going to make me laugh. I'm going to start over now. Stop laughing. Stop laughing. I'm not going to be able to get through this. Stop. All right. Johnny, start over. JD keeps laughing.
All right.
I can't.
All right. I am done laughing.
This is serious, JD. Knock it off. Tony Sanchez's final image as UNLV is one of triumph and closure. This article brought to you by Ed Graney from the Las Vegas Review Junior. I'm going to call it the Junior. He ran across the rigid turf, made even more unforgiving by the bitter cold. His arms raised high in triumph and a smile of joy and closure spread wide. Tony Sanchez stopped long enough to remove his headset. He then exhaled into one of countless hugs to greet him for the next hour or so. There was a trace of water in Sanchez's eyes afterwards, perhaps from the cold weather, perhaps from the magnitude of the moment. He did everything but win at UNLV. Okay, stop it. Stop the music for a second. I will go back and I will read through this whole thing again. But I am so angry at that comment. Johnny, hang on a second, okay? He did everything but win, you buffoon. What are you talking about? He did everything but win. First of all, what is the most important thing a coach should do at the Division I football level? It's winning, you idiot. He didn't win, but he did everything else. Really? That's like saying you're married to your wife. Your wife was fantastic. She did everything, but she wasn't faithful. She did everything, but she wasn't faithful to you. So what are we supposed to celebrate that? By the way, did he get fans in the stands? Did he? He did everything but win, though, right? Did he recruit? Did he get quality football players to win here? No, he didn't. What a ridiculous thing to say. What an ass kisser this guy Ed Graney is, okay? In 2015, and by the way, I like Tony Sanchez, all right? So don't give me this crap, oh, you're just trashing him, you're doing this, you're doing. There is a way that you can actually do your job, okay? And by the way, Ed Graney probably does everything great in his life but write good articles, okay? I'll say that. There is a way that you can like a coach and have a personal relationship with a coach, but be honest. Clearly, Ed Graney can't do that. In 2015, Tony Sanchez was 3-9. They got embarrassed by Northern Illinois, one of their wonderful losses. Hold on with the music. Hang on a second. I'm not reading the article yet, Johnny. Hang on. Don't jump the gun. In 2016, they had an embarrassing loss to Idaho. They went 4-8. In 2017, they had one of the biggest upsets in college football gambling point spread history. The year they went 5-7, by the way. That was Tony Sanchez's best year. 5-7. They lost to Howard at home. In 2018, they went 4-8. They went on a 6-game losing streak. And then this past year, do you remember that ridiculous, embarrassing loss at home to Arkansas State where many thought that was a must-win, and they go 4-8. What do you mean he did everything but win?
And to give you an idea of how big of a loss that Howard game was, it was the worst. I mean, they were a 54-point favorite. They lost the game outright. Maryland went 4-8 this year. They beat Howard 79-0.
Yeah.
That's how big of a loss Howard was.
And by the way, I understand that he created, these facilities through the Fertitta situation. And I understand that people like Ed Graney want to make that case. Is it a good thing that the UNLV facilities are much better now than they were before? Sure. But it's because of the Fertittas being billionaires. It's because they have a lot of money and they donate to programs.
And if Tony has those type of friends, let's give him a shot at AD.
I don't have a problem with that. You know what? I'd probably be more comfortable because I like Tony Sanchez. I think he's a nice guy. He's a good guy. He's always been great to us. I'm not trying to trash the guy.
He's nice. He doesn't make excuses. He's straightforward. He's honest. He wasn't put in a position to be successful, considering he was a high school coach who had all the talent in the world, who never had to make second half adjustments, who never had to come from behind. Yeah. And you put him in a situation like this, he just was not upset. He was not set up for success.
And we'll get to all that in a second, but I want to continue on this Ed Graney rant that I'm going on right now because this guy has a history of kissing the ass of certain people that he has relationships with. He did the exact same thing with Dave Rice with the basketball program. These are people that cover the local teams that you watch, although not many people have been watching UNLV football lately. That is Ed Graney's comment. He did everything but win. The attendance for UNLV has continued to drop. It has been pathetic. Tony Sanchez and his staff, with all due respect, did a pathetic job recruiting. A guy that has those type of connections to high school football players was a coach at Bishop Gorman. He did not recruit at a high level. Stop it with this nonsense that he did everything but win. It is the dumbest comment I've ever heard in my life. If you want to talk about the facilities at UNLV and you want to talk about that stuff, fine. But stop making excuses for the fact that, and Ed Graney's been one of those guys that you should bring him back. He said that. He said that. On the radio, he has said that. It is ridiculous. And this is the guy that's writing articles. I mean, I don't understand it. I don't understand. It's one thing to have an opinion, right? But back up your opinions. And when he writes an article, a love story, that's what I would call it, and he says, Tony Sanchez did everything but win. Why don't you give us those reasons? What is the everything that he did? And don't you give me this crap about grade point averages, because it's all said and done. Fans don't really care about the grade point average of the football players. Sadly, they don't. And boosters don't really care about if your starting quarterback is getting straight A's. You know what a booster, for the most part, cares about? Wins and losses. That is what this is all about. Wins and losses. You know what I'm going to do with Ed Graney's article? I'm going to tell you what, I ran out of toilet paper this morning. I was going to use Ed Graney's article in the Review Journal as toilet paper. I was going to wipe it with my ass, because that's how bad this article is. But I didn't do it because I thought it might hurt. I thought it might physically harm me, so I used toilet paper instead. Great article, Ed. Great job. Great job. Anyway, now let's get on to UNLV athletics. and the mistakes I believe they had made. And JD, you alluded to this a little bit. Okay? Start with this. Let's go back 10 years or so. Lon Kruger was and I'm going to go basketball here. Lon Kruger was a fantastic coach here, and the biggest mistake they made since I've been here is letting Lon Kruger go and not paying him. Not paying him on what he deserved. So what do? They hire Dave Rice, the basketball program, who ruined the program. A guy who's never been a head coach before at the college level. The UNLV basketball program suffered. Eventually, Dave Rice is fired. They fire him mid-season because Tina Kunzer-Murphy had no idea what she was doing. And I don't think I'm wrong on that. I think she's still a paid employee at UNLV. Why, I don't know. Then they fire Dave Rice, and they couldn't hire another coach. The one coach that they did hire for a week, who would have been fantastic here, was Coach Beard over there at Texas Tech. That was a good hire, and they were unlucky. So they hire a guy 7th or 8th in line, Marvin Menzies. Boy, did that work out great. Another guy who has never won at a high level. He won in the WAC. What does that mean? Nothing. And that's the guy you want to run your UNLV basketball program? You're averaging 2,000 or 3,000 fans at games? It's ridiculous. And now you hire TJ Otzelberger. TJ Otzelberger, I hope it works out for him. He seems like a nice guy. He's been very nice to us. Boy, is he off to a bad start. 3-6. You look at the UNLV football program. They got rid of Sanford. They bring in a guy by the name of Bobby Houck, who had never been a head coach at the D1 level. He came in here. He got them to a bowl game. Had a bad year. The following year, they let him go. That didn't work out. Then they hire a high school football coach. You might as well have hired a varsity basketball coach to take over the UNLV program if you were going to do that too. Let's just hire a bunch of high school coaches. But here's the thing that doesn't make sense to me, and I hope I'm wrong on this, and I hope that TJ Otzelberger succeeds. I really do. I don't know if he will. I have a lot of concerns. TJ Otzelberger won at South Dakota State with one of the best offensive players in the country. To me, that is not a proven winner. That is my opinion. And the real true key to this will be year 3, when TJ Otzelberger has all of his own players. Some of these players are still Marvin Menzies guys, and I think he'll have a better year next year. But boy, are they off to a bad start. So for those of you that say, and I don't necessarily disagree with you, that Francois, the athletic director at UNLV, is going to be looking to go somewhere else, is looking to, move up in the ranks. She better do something here. She better do something positive here. And let me tell you something, offering students free tacos is not the answer. And that was one of her, moving the student section behind the basket is all said and nice, but you probably need more than 30 students showing up to games. This is her mark. This is her responsibility now. It all lies on her. Because clearly what I've heard is she won't be influenced by anybody else. You decided to hire TJ Otzelberger. Now you got to own it. Let's see who you hire for the UNLV football program. I believe it was the right decision to let him go. I don't believe it was the right decision to do it 2 weeks before the season ends. That makes absolutely no sense, and it's one of the most asinine things I've ever seen in my life. Give the man enough respect to tell him after the last game.
Do you think that they had waited until the season was over to fire him, they would have lost to San Jose State?
I don't think that would have anything to do with
Nevada.
it. No, I don't think that would have anything to do with it.
You think there was no win-win for the Gipper element about it? You don't think that Tony Sanchez told his players before that San Jose State game? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest. It's a legitimate question, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think she's smart enough to do that. I really don't. I really don't think she's smart enough to think that way. I think she knew that she was going to let him go. The writing was on the wall. Hey, we might as well do it right now, and let's start the process. I believe that was her way of thinking, and I think it was wrong. 257-5396, the number to call, 702-257-5396 if you want to be a part of this discussion. I just cannot believe that article by Ed Graney, who writes, he did everything but win. Absolutely ridiculous. Again, that number, 257-5396. All right, we got a friend of the show, a man who wants to chime in on this discussion. Pat Cassell, who did a nice job filling in for me when I was gone. Pat, what's going on? What's up, Pat?
No, it's funny. Brian, I agree with you 100%. I thought the article was ridiculous to sit there and say he did everything but win. It's about winning. I mean, I got to tell you, I think Harbaugh bringing in the talent he did in Michigan, he's got to get fired because he can't beat Ohio State. Bottom line is, in 30 years as a resident of Nevada, UNLV's best college football hire may have been John Robinson, and that was at best a C+. But when you look at the basketball program, other than Lon Kruger, they have hired a lot of coaches that were just not right for UNLV. I mean, when Tarkanian was here, that program was incredible, and I've seen that program deteriorate to where, like Rutgers football, into the tank.
Can I ask you a question, Pat? Because you've been here a long, and I agree, Pat. Why would Ed Graney say that in his article, that Tony Sanchez did everything here but win? Obviously the support, the fan support, the crowds were way down, and obviously he didn't do a good job recruiting at a high level. Why would he make a statement like that in his article? Because I'm trying to figure out why.
I can honestly say I don't have an answer to that, but I will tell you this: that the attendance has always been lousy at UNLV since I'm living here.
Yeah.
They've always drawn flies. Number one. Number two, I don't blame Sanchez for the program being lousy. I blame upper management, the athletic director.
So do I.
This
I agree.
program is, and I'll tell you why I hate it. Because they can't draw flies because nobody wants to play here. Where they played in the Toilet Bowl was the worst football stadium in the country for Division I football. Until recently, they didn't have facilities to have that for exercise facilities for the athletes. Now they've improved that. They did get the money. I sit here and said, like I said last week on the radio, I would have waited the last two games if they won them both, being the fact that they beat Reno third time in 5 years.
Yeah.
I might have given him the first year and see what kind of success he could have recruiting. If he couldn't recruit now to a program that's definitely D1 material, then I would say you got to go.
Pat, listen, man.
We
are. Pat, listen, man. We are both on the same page here on this one, my friend. And I got to tell you something. It's gonna be very interesting to see what type of hire Francois has. Hopefully, it's sooner than later. But I appreciate the call, Pat, and I also appreciate you coming in and filling in. You did a fantastic job, and we appreciate that. Can you give me a little bit of trumpet music again, Johnny? I need a little bit of music again. Yeah, I just want to read this amazing love passage by Ed Graney. It's really incredible. Again, this is the article. And by the way, it's sad violin music. I'm sorry. Did I call it trumpet music? I don't know. Anyway, here we go. This is Ed Graney.
Call it trumpet music.
I want to read this very important passage from this Ed Graney article. There was a trace of water in Sanchez's eyes afterwards, perhaps from the cold weather and perhaps from the magnitude of the moment. He did everything but win at UNLV, setting the program on a path for success. More than anyone else who held his position. This, the lasting image, a game-winning touchdown, his arms raised high in triumph, a smile of joy and closure spread worldwide. Okay, cut the music off. I feel like I'm reading a passage from To Kill a Mockingbird. I mean, is this guy covering sports? What is he doing? Talking about his eyes watering?
His name is Ed Kerouac.
Let me tell you something. My eyes
The
are
road
watering.
less traveled.
Ed, my eyes are watering just reading your articles. It makes me cry because it's so bad. Let's go back to the phone lines.
Clearly, he wants to be an author.
Yeah, write a novel. Jesus.
Yeah, you're in the wrong industry, Ed.
Yeah, write a novel. 257-5396, the number to call. Let's go to Roberto. Roberto, thanks for calling in. What's on your mind, my friend?
What's
How
up,
you doing
Roberto?
today?
Good.
Doing great.
Hold on, let me wipe away my tears first, okay? Anyways, I got a problem when they have women who are athletic directors because I don't think they can make the hard choices like a guy can.
Well, here's my response. That's a strong opinion. I will say this, Roberto.
That is pretty aggressive.
I don't care.
Maybe a little sexist.
I don't care what the gender is of the athletic director. What I care about is how they do in their job. There are, Roberto, female athletic directors throughout the country that are very good at what they do. I'm not sure Francois is that person. Time will tell. I wasn't crazy about the TJ Otzelberger hire, particularly when you had many proven winning coaches at much higher levels. And here's the thing, Roberto, that really bothered me about that hire. He is I don't know if you knew this, Roberto, he is the highest paid coach in the Mountain West Conference.
And Roberto, they had a chance to get Mike Miller, who currently is the assistant coach for Memphis, and Pena Hardaway,
they wouldn't even give him an interview.
Who brought in the absolute best recruiting class you've seen in the last 5 years in all of college basketball. He would have taken half the money, and they would have brought back Ryan Miller as his brother as the assistant coach, and they wouldn't even give him an interview.
Go ahead, Roberto.
I got a question. Check it out. But, don't you have to be able to walk in the locker room? Like if you're a guy, you can walk in the locker room and get a feel for what's going on because she can't walk in the locker room.
Or maybe
you know what I'm saying?
Well, unless they have clothes on. You're probably right about that, Roberto.
I thought you get a real feel of what's going on,
Well, we've all seen Major League, so I guess she kind of can.
Roberto, I appreciate the phone call. I do disagree with you a little bit with the fact that, just because she's a female, she can't do her job.
That's a bit over the top.
If you're not good at your job, you're not good at your job. 257-5396, the number to call. Let's go to John. John, thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
What's up, John?
Hey, what I was thinking is what he meant, Ed, by writing that article was that Sanchez was kind of hired to kind of get the money for the facilities, to get the Fertittas to donate for the facilities.
Well, and my response to that, John, John, I'm not saying you're wrong, by the way, but my response to that is this. As an athletic director, as a university, you shouldn't hire a coach just to try to get facilities. You should hire a coach because you believe he's the right guy to win football games, to turn the program around. And I'm going to tell you something. Lon Kruger brought us the Mendenhall facility. How's that worked out? How's the basketball program done in the last 10 years? The reason why Lon Kruger won is because he's a fantastic basketball coach. It is possible to have a great coach that can also, win games and bring you facilities. Tony Sanchez was not that guy.
I totally agree. But in that respect, like I said, bringing the money, bringing the Fertittas, I think that's what he did. I think that was a positive. Somebody else could have done that and won, but I don't think anybody was going to win with this program. They need more help than just a coach, but coach, facilities, and all that. Hopefully it changes things up.
And listen, John, I respect your opinion, but I think it should start with a good football coach. It shouldn't start with, well, he's going to bring us facilities and then let's see if he can win. You should hire a coach and I appreciate the call, John. You should be hiring a coach that you believe is going to win first, and then if he can bring the facilities in there and raise some money, then that's fantastic. It is the problem that UNLV Athletics has made for years. They've made bad hires. Dave Rice was a bad hire. Marvin Menzies was a worse hire. Okay, Bobby Hauck was a bad hire. Tony Sanchez was a bad hire. You can talk to me all you want about the facilities that he brought because of his relationship with the Fertittas. I disagree. I like Tony Sanchez. In fact, I texted him over the weekend, congratulated him on the win. We had a nice little brief text conversation, and I wished him well. But anyway, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, remember Donald Trump complaining about all the golf that Barack Obama played? Well, we have some stats for you that might blow your mind. Take a quick break. Be back right after this. You are listening to The Vegas Take.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Looking for that perfect new piece of furniture for your home? A New Concept Furniture is the place to start and end your search. They'll beat any price on the internet, and they're here locally, so you can feel what you're buying first. Go to A New Concept Furniture today at 4255 South Grand Canyon to see for yourself the slick, modern, shiny store that mirrors our shiny city. A New Concept. Check out their showroom or call them at 702-570-2240. That's 702-570-2240.
Wherever you are, 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDON, the talk of Las Vegas, is with you. Download the KDWN app from the App Store on iTunes or Google Play. 101.5 FM, 720 AM, the talk of Las Vegas.
SportsX Radio Nation, what's up? It's Ken Thompson, host of SportsX Radio, reminding you to catch me at my new time, 8 to 10 p.m. for all the local Vegas sports coverage, plus the national scene as well. That's SportsX Radio on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.
At the U.S. Department of Education's Office of Federal Student Aid, we provide more than $150 billion each year in grants, loans, and work-study funds. Learn more at studentaid.gov.
Hey everybody, Rachel Ray here. Nothing brings a bigger smile to my face than cooking up a big meal for the whole family and lots of friends. But there's not enough room at my table for the 17 million kids in our country who struggle with hunger. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks collects surplus food to give hope to hungry kids. But they can't do it without your help. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
The new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON.
Police in Waukesha, Wisconsin have one suspect in custody and say everything has been stabilized after gunshots were fired inside Waukesha South High School. Reportedly, gunshots were exchanged between a student and a school resource officer. Amazon says it is ready for big business this Cyber Monday. Spokeswoman Allison Flicker.
We've been preparing for Cyber Monday and Black Friday, which was a couple days ago, for the entire year. We're ready for this, and we've spent the last more than 20 years building out our operations network, and we're committed to getting these deals to our customers quickly.
Online sellers hope to reach $9.4 billion in sales today, which would set a new one-day sales record. President Trump is restoring tariffs on steel and aluminum imports from Brazil and Argentina. Brazil says it's perplexed by the move, which it says will punish the U.S. as well. The Dow was down about 230 points on bad news about manufacturing. I'm Mike Moss.
It's time to check the roads in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report is paid for by Doctor-Patient Unity. An accident reported on Cheyenne Avenue at Nellis Boulevard. Injury sustained. Still active. Watch for slowing in the area. Possible lane restrictions. Also, an injury crash at Smoke Ranch at Jones Boulevard. And slowing on I-15 southbound. Still from the Spaghetti Bowl to about Spring Mountain, but the recovery from this morning's rush hour is well underway. As surprise medical bills bankrupt Americans, Jackie Rosen stands with doctors to remove patients from billing disputes. She demands insurance companies pay their fair share in opposing their rate-setting proposal to cover less medical care. Tell Jackie Rosen thank you and keep fighting. I'm John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
So what would you do with an extra $500 a month in your budget? $500. This isn't hypothetical, by the way. This is something you may need to think about very soon if you decide to become a member of Medi-Share. Medi-Share is a way to pay for your health care, and typically it costs $500 less per month for a family versus other health care plans. So seriously, think about this. You could pay off loans, pay down a mortgage, save the money for retirement, donate to charity. That would be a big deal. But you know what? Here's the best thing. Medi-Share works. It's a Christian healthcare sharing ministry with 400,000 members. They've shared over $2 billion in medical bills, so they can help share your needs too. And with Medi-Share, not only do you save, you don't have to pay for things you don't believe in. And that's a beautiful thing too. So here's how you can find out more, and you might actually wind up saving even more than $500 a month. So check into it. 844-91-BIBLE. That's 844-91-BIBLE. 844-91-BIBLE.
Hey, it's Lee Goldberg of the GCI guys at Realty One Group. Do you know anyone that's looking to buy a home, sell a home, rent, move from California? If so, give them my number, 702-902-3029. All listeners of the Vegas Take get $1,000 in your hand back at closing. Hometown heroes, veteran, military, police, teacher, nurse, I'm giving you $2,000 back. That also goes for hospitality and casino employees. Free use of a moving truck for a day, 6 free months of home security. Call me, 702-902-3029, the GCI guys.
This is Lorraine Hunt Bono, inviting you to tune in for Breaking Bread with Bono. Join my husband, Dennis Bono, as celebrities share with him their intimate and humorous stories. Saturdays, 5 to 6 p.m., right here on KDON.
This is Harry Jacobs from Credit Restoration of Nevada, inviting you to join me for The Credit Show, Saturday mornings between 9 and 10, here on the new 101.5 FM and 720 AM, KDON.
Tina Trenner is back, and she's on 720 AM, 101.5 FM, KDWN, every Sunday at 12 p.m. She's sick of the nonsense and has something to say every Sunday at 12 p.m.
Maybe it's time to take a fresh look at everything we thought we knew about landing a great job. For instance, what if phenomenal careers start at the middle school science fair instead of at the job fair? If being the captain of the robotics team means just as much on a college application as being captain of the football team. And if knowing the quadratic formula is every bit as important as knowing the right people. Well, the fact is, the jobs of the future will be heavily geared towards science, technology, engineering, and math. In other words, the future is STEM. More opportunities, better pay. And the road to these great jobs starts as early as middle school. So if you're a student, talk to your school counselor about STEM. If you're a parent, talk to your kids. Because the job you'll get in the future may very well depend on what you do today. A public service message from America's Navy.
Imagine a time when no one person has Parkinson's disease, is debilitated by a stroke, and no family suffers the tragedy of Alzheimer's. Some of the best minds in America are doing more than imagining. The American Brain Foundation is seeking to find cures, where life without brain disease isn't just something we can imagine, it's something we can know.
Join Kevin Sorbo in the fight to cure brain disease. For more information, visit AmericanBrainFoundation.org.
Mark Levin, weekdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 a.m. KDON.
You can't let that happen to me.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. We'll talk a little more about this UNLV stuff. I don't know if we're going to break down the UNR-UNLV fight. I know some stations want to do 45 minutes on that. I don't think we're going to do that, but we will talk a little bit about it in hour number 3. We're not going to do play-by-play, punch for punch like some other people want to do, but we'll get to that. And also, I do want to talk a little bit about the basketball tournaments that were in town over Thanksgiving. San Diego State, Texas Tech. Some really good teams were in town, so we'll talk a little bit about that hour number 3. Joining us in studio right now, it's been a little while since I've seen news anchor John Schaefer. John, good to be back here. What's going on in the news, my friend? By the way, how was your Thanksgiving first before we get to the serious
It was
stuff?
great. How about you?
It was okay. I gained a lot of weight. I've had horrible gas the last couple days. But
fantastic.
But other than that, I'm okay. Other than that, I'm doing just fine.
Hey, where'd that gas come from, bro?
Your house.
What do you think the origins of that flatulence is?
Well, you said you almost had food poisoning when somebody in your house cooked for you, so.
But a different person cooked this time.
Okay, I don't know.
And nothing happened to me. I think it's on your head.
Listen, I'm lactose intolerant, so that might have something to do with
that could.
I don't.
Almost food poisoning is like almost pregnant.
Or
you either
almost-
have food poisoning or you don't.
Or
That's true.
almost winning games.
Yeah, right.
That's true.
Exactly.
Like I said, I'm lactose intolerant, so that
Almost
might be an
bowl
issue.
eligible.
Yeah. All right. Nobody wants to know my bowel movements and the gas I've had the last couple days. So let's get to the news, John. What's going on?
Well, a 17-year-old boy was killed, his father injured in a shooting when they confronted a man they suspected of stealing their family's truck. The teen died at the scene Saturday morning in North Las Vegas. His dad taken to a hospital. He is expected to survive. Father and son found their stolen truck just down the street from their home with another man inside. The teen was the first to confront the suspected thief.
Ooh, gosh, that is awful. Here's word to the wise. If your car gets stolen, call the police. Don't try to hunt down your vehicle yourself because nothing good is going to come out of that.
Exactly. Cigarette and cigar smokers common in Nevada where no law prohibits a gambler from lighting up, but some longtime card dealers and bar employees say secondhand smoke has made them sick. Many otherwise healthy people who never smoked are being diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and heart disease. They say they love their jobs, but the environment is unhealthy.
You know what makes me sick? When I pump $300 into a video poker machine and I'm not even offered a free drink. I'll tell the bartenders that's what makes me
I'll
sick.
tell you that there's some casinos in Vegas right now where if you walk in and you're there for 2 hours, and you have a chance of getting sick. If you're there for years and years, I believe what they're saying.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, it's terrible. Like Texas Station, for example, Santa Fe Station, horrible.
It is a little gross. I'm just one of my pet peeves in smoking is when I'm eating, I don't like to smell smoke.
Yeah,
that's if I'm not eating, then I can deal with it. But yeah, that's all I ask.
Another major road project coming. This one will help with traffic in and out of the new Allegiant Stadium, although it won't be ready when the stadium opens next year. In fact, the I-15 Tropicana Avenue interchange project won't begin until 2021, and it won't be finished until 2024. The project will upgrade the Tropicana interchange and add high-occupancy vehicle lane entrance and exit ramps at Harmon Avenue.
You know what? Everyone's freaking out over this thing. Everything is going to be just fine. I heard the same crap with T-Mobile Arena. Everything's fine there. You're going to get some traffic. Everything is going to be okay, ladies and gentlemen. Stop freaking out. Just be happy that the Raiders are coming to town and we have a beautiful stadium that's going to be ready next year.
No one complains when 300,000 people come here every New Year's Eve.
Exactly.
But they can manage to get those people in and out.
It happens every single
Or
time.
1.1 million every week.
Yeah. I even heard that when the new casino opened, Red Dragon, which is now shut down, that Sahara was going to be a nightmare. That really affected traffic.
That was a place to get food poisoning, Brian.
Yeah, that was not a good place to frequent. That is for sure.
Well, speaking of traffic, holiday travelers returning to California from the Las Vegas area caused a severe backup that was more than 20 miles long. The westbound lanes of the 15 moved at a trickle Sunday as the Thanksgiving holiday weekend wrapped up. Nevada Highway Patrol had to warn drivers not to use the shoulder to bypass traffic. They were writing $200 tickets to those who did.
Is there anything worse than that for taking a trip to Las Vegas, losing all your money, and then having to drive back to the traffic-infested L.A. and having to take a 7-hour trip back, not able to count any money in your wallet? I don't think there's anything worse than that, right? That's pretty bad. That's horrible, really.
That would be rough.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough, man.
But good for Vegas.
It is
Yes,
good for Vegas.
Very good for
It
Vegas.
is good for it. Take all the suckers' money
Triple
and then let them go.
Yeah.
And come back next time. Have a great trip.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Next time, take a flight and don't be so cheap. If you're going to lose $10,000 at the blackjack table, don't be so cheap and drive from LA. Take a flight, dummy. That's as simple explanation as I can give, right? Am I wrong in saying that? Fly next time, so you don't have to take a 7-hour or 8-hour drive.
I mean, it's 45 minutes.
45-minute flight.
Yeah. Maybe an hour or 5.
I was going to say my car doesn't go that fast. Maybe what, 3.5 hours if you're lucky.
Your old one did.
That's true. My old one, it was like my 04 Hyundai Elantra would have taken me about 8 hours to drive to LA if the car didn't break down, and that would have been a big if. Mr. Schaefer, happy holidays, my friend. Will you be wearing a Santa hat in a few weeks into work?
Probably.
Oh, I can't wait to see
I
that.
definitely will be.
All right.
Absolutely.
John, always good to see you, my friend.
Thanks, John.
We are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, Donald Trump used to always complain about Barack Obama and his golf. Well, the numbers that I am about to bring to you are staggering. And did Joe Biden have another gaffe over the weekend? We have some audio coming up next. You're listening to the Vegas Take right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON.
Hey, Greg, I'm so sorry to hear about your brother's heart attack.
Thanks. He's okay now, but it really got me thinking about my family. You know, could my wife still pay our mortgage if I had a heart problem? Or could my kids still go to college?
Man, that is really scary. Yeah, you should call my life insurance agent at Health IQ. When I got life insurance for my family last year, they saved me 41% versus any other company I looked at.
41%? That's huge.
Yep. Health IQ starts by shopping everyone with the top 30 life insurance carriers to make sure they can get the lowest retail rate. Then they apply their exclusive Healthy Lifestyle savings, which can save you up to 41%. I literally got $1 million in coverage for my family for just $36 a month.
Just $36 a month?
Yep. You should check it out at healthiq.com/easy.
To save that much money, I'm going to call them right now. What's that link again? healthiq.com/easy?
Yep. healthiq.com/easy.
Parents, you always say you want what's best for your children. If that's the case, then you should be bringing your kid to Infinity, the Math Institute, where every student earns an A or B in math. Our results are proven and they are amazing. The best tutoring service for the best price, whether online or in person, small group or one-on-one. You cannot get better results. Great grades will come when your child truly understands the math. From elementary math to calculus, we have the best tutors, the best materials, and the best results. Now offering free parent seminars on how to better help your child, what is Common Core, and more. Find out why parents are bragging and students are enjoying school again by calling 702-768-1777. That's 702-768-1777, or visit themathinstitute.com today. Tell them the Vegas Take sent you, because at Infinity, you don't get more math problems, you get solutions.
Okay, men, time to be an all-star caregiver. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments, be there emotionally and physically. Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find care guides at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Distracted driving means danger,
recklessness,
irresponsible,
chaos,
police,
devastation,
injury,
tears,
death. Safe driving means staying alert and staying alive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
The Vegas Strong Resiliency Center is a safe haven, a place for residents, visitors, and responders affected by the tragic events of the 1 October shooting incident. Staffed with compassionate professionals, services include victim advocacy and support, counseling referrals, and help accessing the FBI's Victim Assistance Services website. The center is located at 1524 Pinto Lane. It's open weekdays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. For more information, call 702-455-AID or 1-833-2998.
Mark Levin, weekdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 a.m. KDON.
I don't get any credit for this, but that's okay. I never do.
Oh, come on, Donald Trump. We give you credit all the time for your manly physique and your amazing golf swing. Welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and
And
Shapiro.
your great economy.
Absolutely. We'll talk about that.
And your creation of jobs.
Coming up, hour number 2, by the way, really crazy teachers out there. Some crazy stories involving teachers that are attempting to help out your son or your daughter. You're not going to believe some of the racist comments and anti-gay comments that some teachers have made, and because of which they've lost their jobs. We're going to get to that coming up here at the top of the hour. I want to start with Donald Trump, though, because, you know, Donald Trump has always been a champion for bragging about the fact that he doesn't take a salary, right? He hasn't accepted, which I believe is the $250,000 a year salary that a president is supposed to be getting paid for the job. He boasts about it all the time. And when running for office, you know, Donald Trump still talks about Barack Obama all the time in a negative light. In fact, I'm not sure Trump has ever said anything nice about Barack Obama. This is Donald Trump while running for president, talking about that he wouldn't play a lot of golf when he's elected. This is Donald Trump in his own words.
Because I'm going to be working for you. I'm not going to have time to go play golf, and believe me.
I love golf. I think it's one of the greats, but I don't have time. 250 rounds, that's more than a guy who plays on the PGA Tour plays.
Obama ought to get off the golf course and get down there.
Everything's executive order because he doesn't have enough time because he's playing so much golf. He doesn't have enough time to convince Congress to do it. So I have the greatest stuff. But you know what? And I love golf. But if I were in the White House, I don't think I'd ever see Turnberry again. I just want to stay in the White House and work my ass off. And I like to play golf. You know, I'm a good golfer, believe it or not.
Yeah, well, according to some that I've spoken to that have actually played with Donald Trump, he's not a good golfer. He's a cheater on the golf course. But anyway, that's here nor there. Those were the words of Donald Trump in his own words, talking about golf. And he bashed Obama for playing too much golf. First of all, let's start here. Forget about the financial figures. Donald Trump has played 6 times more golf than Barack Obama. 6 times more golf. He brags about not taking a salary as president of the United States, but he's cost Americans an estimated, wait for it, $115 million in travel and security expenses. That is an equivalent of 287 years of a presidential salary. And of that amount, many hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of dollars have gone into his own cash registers. Why? Because Secret Service agents, White House staff, and other administration officials stay and eat at his hotels and golf courses. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about, what happens with the President of the United States on a daily basis. Not only is he a hypocrite, but he's a liar. When he makes statements like that, I'm going to be too busy, I'm going to be working for you, I'm not going to have time to play golf. You want to talk about the biggest lie? It's right there. It's right there. Now, does anybody have a problem with that? For those of you out there that are Trump supporters that attack Barack Obama for playing too much golf, why are you so quiet when it comes to Donald Trump? Why are you so quiet? $115 million, taxpayer money, because Donald Trump wants to waddle along the golf course in his cart, take a few steps and take a couple horrible golf swings and shoot a 95 at the taxpayer's expense.
Is it possible
Guess
to
what?
waddle
I have a problem
in a
with
cart,
that.
Brian? I actually don't think it's
Well, you
possible
have
to
to-
waddle in a cart.
No, but you can waddle.
I think that would be impossible.
Well, but last I checked, it's also not possible to drive a cart on a putting green or to drive a cart on a tee box, although leave it to Donald Trump to do that. I've seen video of him literally driving a cart on the fringe of a putting green.
On courses that he owns.
So what? So that makes it okay? So if you own a golf course, you can destroy it?
Yeah. Yeah,
So that's okay.
Absolutely, yes.
So you're okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Are you being serious right now?
If you own a golf course, you are more than welcome to drive on the greens of it.
So forget about...
Of course.
So forget about all the people that work on the course and the people that are members there. You're saying you're okay with the owner of... Like, for example...
Okay, and then, for example, those people will have to fix the course, and they'll get paid to fix the course.
So-
You're
so-
actually helping the employees that
So
work for you.
You think you're helping your golf course? You think that's a smart decision?
If you
to-
own,
hold on.
if
For
you
the
own
record-
a golf course,
No, wait a
Brian, you
second.
are more than welcome
You're-
to drive all over the green, completely butt-ass naked all day long.
So for the
you could
record-
throw a huge party there whenever you want to, again, because you
What is-
own the golf course.
So for the
Donald
record-
Trump is a capitalist. He's a successful businessman. He has been for a long, long time. Am I shocked that he's probably getting back 30 or 40% of the money that he's spending because of Secret Service and whoever else is working for him, and that money is coming from the taxpayers. I'm not shocked by that. I'm actually kind of impressed by it.
I'm
because
shocked.
He is a capitalist, and he's going to double dip anytime he can.
We're getting in the week. Okay, well, as the president of the United States, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to double dip. So that's number one. So you're wrong there.
So he's not allowed to play golf on his own golf courses.
You are not allowed.
And stay at his own hotels and have those who are with him spend money at those establishments.
Okay.
Why is he not allowed to do that?
Okay, let me respond to a lot of the things you just said, and I will start with what you just said there. As the president of the United States, you are not allowed to abuse your power in this way.
How is that abuse of power?
I'm trying to answer your question. You are not allowed, if you own golf courses, to frequent those golf courses and have Secret Service and all these other people paying on taxpayer dollar as you and your family profit from it.
Okay,
that is abuse of power.
If that's the case, then that is a much bigger impeachable offense than the Ukraine situation.
Okay, well,
100%.
I also
and if that is
disagree
the
with you
case,
there.
then he should be impeached for that. But
Okay.
I don't believe that that's the case, Brian.
Okay, so $115 million playing golf, most of which were frequented at his own golf courses that he owns. And let me go back to what you just said earlier, because I think it's ridiculous. So you're telling me, let's just go to Steve Wynn for a second. Let's forget about all the sexual harassment and all that other stuff for a second. Steve Wynn, owned the Wynn golf course. So you're saying you would have been totally okay with Steve Wynn walking on that golf course, getting into a cart, and driving all over the greens, and driving all over the golf course and ripping up the golf course. And hold on, let me finish.
During his own round or during somebody else's round?
It doesn't matter whose round it is.
No, would I be
You're
okay?
okay with that?
If you and I are on the green and we're trying to putt, would I be okay with that? No, but if it's his round and he wants to drive all over the course, again, he owns the course, Brian. What do you not understand about that?
What do you not understand how disrespectful that is to the members and the people that work on the golf course to rip up the golf course and ruin the greens?
The course will get fixed.
So that's
Brian.
your response?
Again, if they
that's your response?
If that happens, if he drives over the green and he rips it up and a couple of members don't like it and they drop membership, then that's a bad business decision by him. But
Can you
still,
find me one member that would like
Brian,
that?
He owns the golf course.
So your point is, if you own the course, you can rip it and tear it to shreds?
Whatever you want to do, you
That's
own
ridiculous.
it. You're more than welcome to do it because,
That's a
again,
ridiculous
you
take.
own it.
That's so ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous, Brian.
You don't understand. If he was the only person playing the golf course, I would agree with you. But there are members, there are people that work there that work really hard to maintain. Do you not understand how hard it is to maintain a golf course?
And they're going to have to work harder, and they're going to get paid more to do it.
No, they're not. What are you
Of
talking
course they
about?
will. Why would they not?
Got paid more.
Yes. Why would you not get paid more to clean a green or to fix a green?
Again, you don't know what you're talking
after it
about.
gets destroyed.
No,
Of course you would.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Are they
Can I
not-
explain to you? I've been playing golf for 30 years.
I get that, but are they not going to get paid to do their job?
Let me explain what you just said doesn't make any sense. If you're a greenskeeper or if it's your job to mow grass or maintain the golf course, if there's damage to the golf course, you're not getting paid extra. Most of those guys, including a greenskeeper, is on something called a salary.
Okay,
you're not getting paid overtime if some idiot decides to ruin a green.
If it takes longer for you to do your job, you're not going to get paid more to do that.
Are we really having this conversation? You're saying you're okay with Donald Trump driving a cart over the greens of his own golf course because he owns it? Are we really having this conversation? Really?
Again, he owns the golf course, Brian.
So what?
I have no issue with him doing whatever he wants to do a golf course that he owns. And if members have an issue with it or a grievance, they can quit. They can go to a new golf course. They can go to a new club. It doesn't make a difference.
I just think it's ridiculous, and I think that is an elitist of Donald Trump way of. By the way, he has done that before, where he's driven his cart in places where he shouldn't be driving it. But when you're the president of the United States, and you're in the physical condition that he is, clearly he's not in. I guess he's not in good enough physical condition to walk from a green to a golf cart. I guess he's not. I guess we'll have to give him a pass on that. But I don't know, just ridiculous. Joe Biden said some interesting things over the weekend too, which I wanted to play for you guys. I want to play this audio. This is Joe Biden speaking in regards to Kim Jong-un. And JD, I know you have a problem with this. So let's discuss this real quickly, but I want to play this audio. This is Joe Biden over the weekend talking about his interactions with Kim Jong-un.
Training. You're going to have to assume that position the moment they're sworn in on January the 20th and know the rest of the world knows that person, in this case me, and that I know them. Putin has no illusions about whether I know him or not. Kim Jong-un has no person that I know him or not. The same with the president of China, Xi Jinping. Spent a lot of time with these folks. They know. They have training.
Okay, so he said he spent a lot of time with these folks. What's your problem with that?
Joe sounds exhausted. He sounds like he just walked up 15 flights of stairs. This guy is not healthy at all.
Okay, but we're talking about the substance with what he said.
I didn't say I had an issue with it. I just sent it to Stein because that's what I do. I send Stein, our producer, things in the morning or before the show that we could possibly talk about on air.
So what's your opinion on it?
He doesn't know Kim Jong-un.
What do you mean? They've spoken on the phone before. They've had conversations before. He's dealt with Kim Jong-un. I don't have a problem with that statement at all.
Okay.
Doesn't mean you have to see him in person to know him.
He said he spent a lot of time with Kim Jong-un.
He said he spent a lot of time with those people, Putin, Kim Jong-un.
Well,
now,
he's
spending time with someone.
Spending time, he could have said spending time on the phone with Kim Jong-un, but he implied that he had met Kim Jong-un and he had spent time with him in person, which
he didn't say that.
Which he has never done.
He didn't say
that.
He
said spent a lot of time with Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, and that could mean on the phone.
He
that could mean with
he should have specified on the phone.
That could mean members of his cabinet. That could mean dealing with his regime.
Do you think that Joe Biden sounds healthy, Brian?
Well, that's a separate issue. I mean, we're talking about the comments that he made in that statement. Does he sound tired? Well, I gotta be honest with you. If I had to be,
he sounds like Roy Masters, Brian.
Well, I'm not going to comment on that, but I will say that if you're campaigning at that age, 12 hours a day, I don't know, 14 hours a day, I'd probably be pretty tired too. And I'm 39 years old. So listen, I'm not a big Joe Biden supporter.
And it's about to really heat up. Considering the election is less than a year away, it's about to really heat up in the next 3 to 6 months. Do you think he can handle that? It's going to get worse and worse for him.
Probably no better or worse than Donald Trump. I don't see that the issue here. To me, the issue and the reason why, and I've spoken about this on a number of occasions, why I probably would not vote for Joe Biden. It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that he sounds tired or he has these gaffes. I just don't think he's the best person to get up there on a stage and debate Donald Trump.
I agree with that.
I don't think he's the best person to defeat Donald Trump. Now, I know there's a lot of people that would disagree with us, including Michael Avenatti, who comes on our show all the time. And there's a lot of Democrats that think Joe Biden gives the Democrats the best chance to defeat Donald Trump. I just simply disagree with that.
Biden or Avenatti would only say that because Biden has some traction in those key swing states that Avenatti believes 100% have to be won by whoever needs to defeat Donald Trump. That's the only reason he's in Biden's corner.
But here's my issue.
After listening to that particular segment, I'm all about Pete Buttigieg. I think Buttigieg has the best shot right now.
I've said that
to win the Democratic nomination.
He doesn't have the black vote, and that is a big issue. That's why.
Hopefully, he can acquire that.
We have seen. I mean, he does not have. He's got like 0% of the black vote.
He is homosexual, but he is not flamboyantly homosexual. I think that's going to really play well for him.
I think there's a lot of other issues to worry about whether he's flamboyant or not because he's gay. But I will say this again, going back to these statements that Joe Biden made, saying that he spent time with these folks in regards to Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin. You know, people on the right want to take issue with that statement. But those same people on the right don't have an issue with Donald Trump on a world stage with Kim Jong-un, taking Kim Jong-un's side, kissing his ass in every way possible, calling it a love story, and siding with Kim Jong-un when he said he didn't know what happened to Otto Warmbier and he feels bad about it. Going on a stage with Vladimir Putin and siding with Vladimir Putin instead of our own intelligence, saying that he did not interfere in the elections. I have a much bigger problem with making yourself look like an ass in meeting with these evil, murderous dictators and siding with them over your country. I have a much bigger issue with that than Joe Biden saying he spent time with these folks. So if you're one of those people that has no problem with Donald Trump embarrassing himself on a national stage with evil, murderous dictators, but you have all the issues in the world with Joe Biden saying he spent time with these folks, then you have zero credibility. JD, I don't think you're one of those people. You have an issue, right, with President Trump getting up there on a stage, taking Vladimir Putin's word over U.S. intelligence. I would imagine you have an issue with Donald Trump getting up there on a stage, talking about Kim Jong-un on a national stage, siding with him that he didn't have anything to do with the Otto Warmbier murder, because that's what it was. It was a murder. You're not okay with that, right?
That was an interesting approach, Brian.
No, it's not an interesting approach. It's a logical approach. I would imagine you take issue to that, right? You take issue with that,
right? No, you're trying to say, oh, you're not stupid, are you? You're not complicit in this, are you?
I didn't say that. Do you not have an issue with him?
The way that you're phrasing the question, you're kind of getting to the point. Hey, you don't think like that, do you, bud? Come on, you don't think like that, do you? You're not one of these guys, are you?
We only have a minute. Do you take issue to that?
I think Trump could have handled that better. I think that he doesn't handle international policy and relationships as good as he could. He handles it like he handles a lot of business dealings, and he sides with whoever he wants to do business with. He doesn't he doesn't handle it on a micro basis. He handles it on more of a macro basis, and he probably shouldn't have handled both of those situations in that manner because he doesn't want to start a war with Russia, and really he doesn't know. And as far as he knows, Otto Warmbier, he went to a place like North Korea. He stole a sign, which is a huge crime. I mean, and people who do that in North Korea, they go to hard labor. Their lives are terrible. It's been that way for a long time. So I think that Trump kind of thinks that Otto Warmbier is just not a very smart guy.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, a Utah substitute teacher telling fifth graders that homosexuality is a sin. We'll get to that coming up next. You're listening to the Vegas Take.
The only FM news talk station in the Valley. 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN Las Vegas, a Beasley Media Group station.
I'm Mike Moss. Parts of the Northeast and New England could have more than 1.5 feet snow on the ground after today. Motorist Kevin Glenn is in Fitchburg, Massachusetts.
It's getting pretty bad out here right now. It's getting wicked slippery. All the guys are all over the road, so if you don't have four-wheel drive, you should probably stay home.
More than 50 million people are under some kind of winter weather alert today. FlightAware reports more than 10,000 flight delays and hundreds more flight cancellations because of the weather. The Supreme Court is wrestling with whether to dismiss a challenge backed by the powerful National Rifle Association to a New York City handgun ordinance and sidestep a ruling that could lead to an expansion of gun rights. 3 local handgun owners and the New York affiliate of the NRA argued the regulation violates the Constitution's Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. Correspondent Ariane DeVoe at the Supreme Court.
Critically, Chief Justice John Roberts and Brett Kavanaugh, their votes could be key. They did not show their hand about whether they think the case should be dismissed. In fact, this was rare. Kavanaugh didn't even ask any questions during oral argument.
The court's 4 liberal justices indicated they believe the case is moot because New York has since amended the law. A student gunman was wounded today in Waukesha, Wisconsin, just outside of Milwaukee, in a shooting incident with a school resource officer. No other injuries. School was dismissed early under the circumstances. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot has fired the police superintendent, Eddie Johnson, saying Johnson lied about an October incident in which he was found sleeping in his car. President Trump is complaining the House Judiciary Committee will hold an impeachment inquiry hearing while he attends the NATO summit that comes at a critical moment for the 70-year-old military alliance. On Wall Street, stocks are down. The Dow is off 241 points. I'm Mike Moss.
It's time to check the roads in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report is paid for by Doctor-Patient Unity, slowing on the 215 Southern Beltway eastbound between Jones and I-15. And the crash in the North Valley on Jones at the 215 Northern Beltway. Also, a hit-and-run accident investigation continues at Tropicana at Spencer Street. Watch for police presence in the area. As surprise medical bills bankrupt Americans, Jackie Rosen demands insurance companies pay their fair share in opposing their rate-setting proposal to cover less of your medical care. Tell Jackie Rosen thank you and keep fighting. I'm John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
It's open enrollment season, and Medishare is the Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google Medishare and see if it's a fit for you. Medishare, healthcare you can believe in.
From office parties to family get-togethers, if you tend to overdrink, the holidays aren't always the most wonderful time of the year. But quitting completely? Well, that's just not realistic. Sound familiar? Meet LifeBack, a modern science-based approach that allows you to effectively cut back on your alcohol consumption, using medication that's clinically proven to reduce the urge to overdrink in 92% of people. LifeBack makes drinking a choice rather than a need. Plus, LifeBack is completely private, with online doctor consults, medication delivered discreetly to your doorstep, and coaching and support tools through the app. LifeBack comes with a free online doctor consultation and 30-day money-back guarantee, and the program costs less than 1 drink per day. Don't wait for end-of-the-year regrets. Starting the physician-approved LifeBack program now will allow you to drink normally during the holiday season and go into the new year healthier and happier. Visit lifebac.com or call 888-959-8858 today to learn more. That's lifebac.com or call 888-959-8858 today.
Hey, Chuck, I know there are a lot of scams with online payday loans. What should people watch out for?
So many of these websites might look totally legit, but they're far from it. And the borrower needs to be very careful to make sure they're dealing with a lender that's licensed right here in Nevada, like Dollar Loan Center.
How do they get away with that?
It's normally the online companies that are based out of the country in places like Costa Rica or hiding on tribal land to skirt state lending laws. And others are just lead generators who will just bombard you with calls, texts, and emails. Just be careful and do your research.
That was Chuck, founder of Dollar Loan Center, with some very sound advice about online loan scams. We have over 50 local and licensed locations, and our friendly Dollar Loan Center staff are ready to help while keeping your information safe. Stop by or check us out online at don'tbebroke.com for all the details.
Licensed by Nevada Financial Institutions Division. Customer must meet the normal loan qualifications. To review loan qualifications, visit us at don'tbebroke.com. Certain limitations may apply. Loans are subject to approval.
SportsX Radio Nation, what's up? It's Ken Thompson, host of SportsX Radio, reminding you to catch me at my new time, 8 to 10 p.m. for all the local Vegas sports coverage, plus the national scene as well. That's SportsX Radio on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.
Hi, this is Harvey Blankfeld, host of Las Vegas Real Estate Now. Please tune in every Saturday at 11 a.m. and listen to us deliver timely, balanced truths about our market right here in Southern Nevada. You know, there's nothing that I enjoy more than educating our listeners about real estate, except maybe a well-prepared Reuben sandwich where the corned beef is really lean. Sorry, I digress. But please do tune in every Saturday at 11 a.m. and learn about real estate right here on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON, the talk of Las Vegas.
Millions retire online so they can do what they want offline. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
The new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON. Right now, the day's biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
All right, welcome back. Hour number 2, rolling out the red carpet. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us on a Monday. As I said, I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Lot to get to coming up here these next few hours, but I want to start with a story that really gets my blood boiling, and it should get yours as well. It involves homosexuality. It involves a teacher and a student. No, it does not involve a sexual act. Let me explain. A Utah substitute teacher told a 5th grader his thoughts on homosexuality and how it's wrong. Here's how it started. This was the week before Thanksgiving. And this substitute teacher, who is a complete buffoon, asked the boys' class, "What are you thankful for this year?" Now, some of the kids said turkey and mashed potatoes. One girl mentioned her dog. Another student joked about not having to go to school over the holiday, right? Normal stuff. And then one boy's response, keep in mind, okay, this is a 5th grader. One boy's response was a bit more serious. He said, quote, "I'm thankful that I'm finally going to be adopted by my 2 dads." I think that's a pretty cool thing that he said. You know, he appreciates the fact that his 2 dads adopted him. And by the way, I would be too. Students later said that the substitute teacher just snapped. He went off. He said, "Why on earth would you be happy about that?" And for the next 10 minutes, this teacher lectured the 30 kids in the class about her own views, about how homosexuality is wrong, and how 2 men living together is a sin. She looked at the boy, too, and told him that's nothing to be thankful for. First of all, let me tell you something. When you think about the people that are way on the right, many of them who are, Christians, who call themselves great Christians, many of these people are pro-life, think abortion is murder. Obviously, whoever had this child did not have an abortion. Now you have 2 dads who adopt this child, who it seems to me are good fathers and do the right thing in raising this child, and the child is appreciative about it. To be in 5th grade and to say something like that, I think speaks volumes about his maturity and how he was raised. And you have this idiot, this hateful teacher that spreads her views about homosexuality. And look, one of these dads, by the way, is a regular on Dancing with the Stars. I want to add that as well. We'd love to talk to him. But again, people on the right, you can't have it both ways. If you're pro-life, that's fine. And if you're anti-gay, you think homosexuality is a sin, you have the right to feel that way. That's fine. But to speak those views in front of a 5th grade class when a student is talking about how he's thankful that his 2 dads raised him and adopted him is disgusting. And anybody out there that thinks that this is okay, that you're okay with a teacher spreading his or her views about homosexuality in front, it could have been in front of college students, and I would be saying the same thing. It's even worse when it's in front of fifth graders. Is an absolute joke, and it is disgusting. This woman should never be allowed to teach ever again.
And she needs mental help. I mean, she's clearly mentally ill. This kid, he happens to be a fifth grade boy. He's being adopted by two men. He just wants a family. He doesn't care if it's two men, two women, one man, one woman, if it's standard nuclear, whatever it is. He just wants to have his own family, and he's excited for that particular instance. Right. And I completely agree that this woman has no business anywhere near a school or even outside of an insane asylum, as far as I'm concerned, for what she did there.
I don't think she's I mean, we don't know if she's mentally ill.
Or she's mentally ill.
How do you know that?
Who
she's spreading her views?
No, who would say what she said? I mean,
a lot of people would.
You think they would actually say that?
Yes, there are a lot
to
of
students they are teaching, a substitute teacher.
Let's find out.
I think she's probably mentally ill, and she's a closet lesbian.
Mike Pence would say that. Mike Pence is an anti-gay
idiot. I don't think that Mike Pence would say that.
Really? His wife works at a school where you're not allowed to be gay to go to school there. You're not allowed to be gay to work there. Mike Pence is one of those people that believes his wife can't even be in a room with another man having a conversation unless he's there. Would you say Mike Pence is mentally ill? I think he's a nut job.
I don't think that he would do it that aggressively. Again, this is a child.
Mike Pence wanted to pass legislation
This is a child without a family.
Hold on.
Who is now finally getting his own family.
Mike Pence.
That's what he wants, is his own family. And this woman is trying to rain on his parade.
Okay, well, what you said about Mike Pence, I disagree
because she
with.
feels so strongly about the fact that two men will be raising him instead of a woman and a man.
I'll get to that in a
second. To me,
second.
that's mental illness.
I'll get to that in a second.
That's completely insane.
I think I guess it's mental illness when
Because
you believe
those
that when you
circumstances.
believe that homosexuals should go to conversion therapy. I believe you're mentally ill too. Then can we say that? Can we say that?
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, well,
that's fine.
guess who wanted to pass
I don't believe in conversion therapy.
Guess who wanted to pass that legislation?
Mike Pence.
Exactly. So make the case that Mike Pence is mentally ill if you think this nut job teacher's mentally ill. What do you guys think?
I don't
out
think
there?
Mike Pence would approach it that aggressively, though, under those circumstances. Again, this 10-year-old boy is happy that he has finally a family. It doesn't matter if it's a man and a man or a woman and a woman or whatever.
Well, let me ask the listeners right now, and we'll take some phone calls on this. What do you think about a Utah substitute teacher in front of a bunch of fifth graders sharing her views on how homosexuality is wrong and it's a sin when one of the students says, I'm grateful for Thanksgiving, I'm grateful for this time, and I'm grateful for my two dads for raising me and adopting me? Do you think that is appropriate? Let me ask the listeners, do you think that is appropriate for a teacher to be doing that, sharing views on homosexuality? I'll open up the phone lines. What do you think about this? 702-257-5396. Again, that number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation is 257-5396. Listen, I disagree with anybody that treats somebody differently based on gender, based on sexuality. I think you are a hateful person if you believe that, and I think you're ignorant. I've always felt that way about people like that. Now, if you don't agree with homosexuality and you're not gay and you want to raise your family and tell them how wrong it is to be a homosexual, that's your business. That's your business. But don't treat others differently because of that. When you are looking at a fifth grader and you're telling that fifth grader how your parents and your fathers are committing these horrible sins.
A fifth grader that before a couple weeks ago did not have a family, who now finally has a family and is grateful and is thankful for it, because I'm sure most of his classmates have had families. He's one of the few that hasn't. And now he finally has a family, and you feel strongly enough about the fact that his family isn't the way that you'd perceive a standard family to be, that you want to rain in his parade in front of his classmates. To me, that is mental illness, Brian.
I am just so I don't know whether it's mental illness.
That you have to make a fifth grader feel that bad who has not had a family.
Well, I'm not going to get in the realms of whether I think this teacher's mentally ill or not. I'm going to call her ignorant. I'm going to call her stupid. I think her behavior is disgusting. But I will report this before we take some calls here. I have good news to report. She was escorted out after 3 students spoke up about it, and those 3 students are very brave, and I'm glad they did what they did because it sets an example to those kids that, hey, what this teacher said was wrong, and I like that. I like the way that the the school handled this situation. I think it's completely disgusting. I think it's ignorant to have views like that. You know, all these people out there that, you know, the people out there that are Bible thumpers, the people out there that want to talk about how homosexuality is so awful and so wrong and so terrible and you're committing a sin, usually are the people that are afraid to come out of the closet themselves or the ones that commit adultery. I'm telling you, some of the most ultra-religious, and I'm not just talking about Christians, by the way, some of the most ultra-religious people in this country are the ones that usually commit the most sins, okay? Don't even get me started with all the scandals with the priest and everything that went on. Don't even get me started with that stuff. I'm sorry. I just don't get along with those types of people. The number to call, 257-5396, 702-257-5396. Why don't we start off with Joe? Joe, thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
What's up, Joe?
Yes. Nobody thinks that's acceptable to do that. It seems like you're just painting all Christians. It's an argument that painting all Christians as being intolerant.
When did I say all Christians were intolerant? When did I say that? Did you hear what I said? That's not what I said, Joe. What I said was some Christians on the right that are ultra-religious. And I use the term some. I would never generalize and say all.
I know, or Hardy or Matt would think that would be acceptable.
Well, I hope you're right, Joe, but all I can tell you is there are some Christians on the right. I never said all. I said there are some Christians that are ultra-right, that are pro-life, that believe that if a 12-year-old girl gets raped, she should be forced to have that baby. And these are the same types of people that are against homosexuality and probably are against two dads or two women adopting a child. And I think that's wrong, and I think it's ridiculous. Never did I say all.
All these things in the groups and saying probably and I guess, and they're just like this because you're a mind reader, apparently. You know what's in the heart of people.
No, again, you're generalizing. I'm a mind reader. I'm a mind reader to you. I think you need to open up your ears because I don't think you're listening to what I'm saying.
I heard the words you said.
Okay, so why did you start the conversation then and say you're labeling all Christians? Why did you say that if that's not something that I said, Joe? Please answer the question.
Okay, I'll talk real fast then. You're generalizing. I mean, it's obvious what you're trying to do.
What am I trying to do, Joe? Why you were trying to read my mind? You sound like a mind reader. You're a mind reader, Joe.
Well, I thought that's what we were doing now.
Oh, okay. So it's okay for you to mind read. You're criticizing. So you're criticizing me for being a mind reader. Now you're doing the same thing. Okay, go ahead, Joe.
What you're talking about is so unacceptable. You don't even have to ask the audience. Who in their right mind would say that would be acceptable? It's not even an issue.
Well, to you, so you're generalizing. You're
bringing up something that doesn't even have an argument to
okay.
it.
Well, let me ask you a question then. Are you against homosexuality? Are you against? You're a Christian, right? Mm-hmm. Right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, that's a shocker. Are you against homosexuality?
No.
You don't think homosexuality is a sin?
I went to Christian school. We never did that.
So you don't think being a homosexual is a sin?
Say judge your neighbor. Just say love your neighbor.
And I agree. And Joe, I'm glad you're like that. So you don't think homosexuality is a sin?
I have no idea. It's not my place to even comment on it.
And Joe, I'm glad you're like that. Okay, make no mistake about it.
And
I wish there were.
People are. But to bring up an argument.
I disagree with that. No. Hold on a second. You just said something that I disagree with. I disagree with you. Most Christians are like you. No, I disagree with you. The many Christians that I speak with are against homosexuality, and they think it's a sin. Now, Joe, I wish everybody was like you. I wish everybody like...
Well, I know some people who think that, but they would never say that out loud or tell somebody to put them down. It's not their place to judge anybody.
Well, we agree.
Exactly. It's more about the circumstance for me, Brian.
We agree, Joe.
The fact that she wanted to use that to make a 10-year-old kid who had never had a family feel bad about himself. That's why I believe she's mentally ill.
And never did I say that all Christians feel that way. By the way, the number to call, 257-5396, 702-257-5396. I do believe people that are way on the right, that are extremely religious Christians, think that homosexuality is a sin. I believe many of them teach their children and their families that homosexuality is a sin. And when you are a child growing up and you believe you are gay, how do you think that child should come out? How do you think it makes that child, that young daughter or son feel? How do you think it makes them feel? So I disagree with Joe when he says that the majority of Christians feel the way he feels. I completely disagree with that. They teach it in church. They teach it in Bible study, that being a homosexual is a sin. And I actually think it is a sin to feel that way. What do you think about that? That's what my Bible says. My Bible says And I wrote it myself, by the way.
Great Bible, Brian.
It wasn't written 400
Awesome.
or 500 years ago. My Bible says.
When did you write it?
You should. I wrote it this morning, actually.
Are you going to sell it?
No, but I'm going to read a transcript from it right now.
Okay,
my
good.
Bible.
Where's the music? Johnny, play the music.
No, I don't need any music. Don't play any music. My Bible says, don't listen to JD. My Bible says that you should treat everyone as equals regardless of sexual orientation. I wish Mike Pence and his wife would read my Bible. Because I'm not a Christian, I don't associate with any religion. I am just a human being that wants to treat others with respect, regardless of what they look like, regardless of their sexual orientation. And this nutjob substitute teacher should never be allowed to teach ever again. 257-5396 is the number to call. That's 702-257-5396. Let's go to Brady. Brady, you're next. What's up?
What's up, Brady?
Yeah, good morning, gentlemen. I wanted to bring up the point. You're always defending the gay community and the LGBTQ, the drag queens, the men that want to use the female bathrooms. I want you to start sometime, Brian, defending like people.
What are you talking
are
about?
going against people that, Meathead, Rob Reiner, remember on Archie Bunker, Meathead?
You're all over the place. What's your point?
Just hang on. I'm bringing it back real quick. Again, this weekend, he said that anybody that voted for Trump, especially the Christians, the evangelicals, and the white supremacists on the other side of the Christian realm, we're all in bed with Putin and the devil.
Okay, I didn't say
calling
that.
us white racists. Why don't I ever hear you condemning your people on the anti-Trump side?
First of all, you said a lot there that makes absolutely no sense. First of all, they're not my people, so I don't know why you would make an ignorant statement like that, number one. Number two, you started this conversation talking about drag queens. By the way, if you're homosexual, it doesn't mean you're a drag queen, number one. Number two, you make it like defending the gay community is a bad thing and a negative thing. I don't care if you're gay or straight. I want everybody to be treated equally and fair. There's a lot of bad things that people do in the world. I can't defend everybody on a 3-hour show every day. Okay, you're bringing up a different subject. In any situation, if somebody treats somebody unfairly for any reason that is not legitimate, okay, based on sexuality or gender or race, I am going to defend those people that might be gay, that might be minorities, whoever they are, or even if you're white and somebody, attacks somebody for the color of their skin. I don't care what that is, Brady. You start the conversation off like it's a bad thing that I'm defending homosexuals in this types of situation, two dads that are raising a child.
All I'm saying is, can't you defend like somebody that's on the Republican side that loves the King Trump? And I'm sick of you anti-Trumpers. Everything you say.
Honestly, Brady, there's actually quite a few homosexual Republicans out there.
Okay, first of all,
that probably do like Donald Trump quite a bit.
You like to call me anti-Trumpers, anti this, anti that, and I've said this on the radio before, Brady, and I will say it to you again. You always say that I have Trump derangement syndrome. People like you want to attack people like me just because I don't like the president of the United States. And I'll say it again, Brady, and this will be the last thing I say, and then we're going to move on to the next call. You have Trump fellatio syndrome. 257-5396 is the number to call.
Good call, Brady.
702-257-5396 is the number to call. Why don't we go to Rose? Rose, you're next on the Vegas Take. Thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
What's up, Rose?
I just wanted to say I agree with you. I think that lady is whacked, in my opinion. I don't think any teacher at all should speak their mind on any opinion, on anything, other than teaching what they're teaching in the class.
Exactly.
What their parents or any life should not matter. They are there to teach what they're supposed to be teaching, not their views on religion, politics, and none of it.
Rose, can I ask you a question? And I agree, Rose.
Especially as substitute teacher.
Let me ask you a question, Rose. Do you have kids that are in school?
Yes. No.
Okay, so let me just give you a hypothetical here. What would you do? Sure. Rose, what would you do if your daughter or your son was in school and your daughter or son comes home and says, Mom, my teacher told me today that homosexuality is a sin? I mean, how would you handle that?
I would probably have a little visit with that teacher. And I would tell her she needs to keep her opinions to herself, and that I think that she's wrong. And then I would try to maybe see if I can get her, in some sort of trouble, because I don't think it's not even just that; it's anything. I mean, I think that nowadays these people think they can just push their beliefs on our children, and that's a bunch of BS. I'm not paying you to taking money out of my check to pay for you guys to teach my kids things that you want them to learn that you believe in.
Rose, you're right. You're so right, Rose. And I also want to make a correlation to this. It happens with adults, too. Look at religion all over the world and what it does sometimes to people. They try to push their religion and their beliefs on others. It's okay to have an opinion. It's okay to do what you want and believe in what you want to believe in. But it's happening, with adults across the world and in this country right now. And now it's happening with our children, Rose. And I'm sure you would agree. It's completely inappropriate.
No, I totally agree that it's completely inappropriate. I'm a Christian, like I said.
Yeah.
I don't push my beliefs on anybody.
And I appreciate that about you, Rose. And I would,
and I believe that everybody. To me, I believe in God. So if I do something, I think we sin all day long.
Well, Brian,
people sin all day long.
Here's a thin question: if I don't believe in something, or if I don't engage in something, does that mean that I believe that it's a sin? For example, I'm not a homosexual. I don't engage in homosexuality, but I don't believe that it's a sin. What makes me believe that it's a sin? What's the difference there?
I believe if you are one of those people that
if in my mind I'm not homosexual, does that mean that I think it's a sin to be homosexual? Because that's kind of where where you're going right now. Is that you're basically saying that if you think or if you don't engage in homosexuality, that you think it's a sin, and that's so far from the truth. And I want to be able to.
Well, I didn't say that.
But that's kind of what you're saying.
No, that's not at all what I said.
Because Mike Pence's wife, she teaches at that school where you cannot be a homosexual to go to that school.
Let me explain I'll say it again real quickly, and then we got to get to some more phone calls. What I said is this: I believe there are plenty of ultra religious Christians way on the right, that are ultra religious that believe homosexuality is a sin. And they will treat somebody differently based on their sexual orientation. And the evidence backs up that claim. And yes, I believe Mike Pence is one of those people because of his behavior. Let's go to Rebecca. The number to call, 257-5396. Rebecca, you're next. What's on your mind?
What's up, Rebecca?
Hi. So first off, I just wanted to say I completely agree with, I want to say it's Brian's voice that I'm hearing.
That is me, the sexy voice named Brian that is on the radio Monday through Friday. Yes.
Exactly. I completely agree with what you've been saying. I find it kind of ridiculous that people are trying to twist your words, like what just happened. It's just completely unnecessary. Like, you're obviously not saying all Christians are like this, but there is, and it is completely laid out. People say it all the time. There's so many of like super hardcore hardcore Christians who don't believe that sexuality is a choice, or that do, and that they do think that it is a sin. Not everybody, and in no way does being gay or not being gay make you think that it's a sin or not. Like, that's just silly. But I just want to say my actual bigger issue was with really, there's no need to be calling this person, like the lady who did this in classroom, there's no need to be calling her mentally ill. I think that does a disservice to actual people who struggle with mental illness. It creates more of a negative stigma, and I would ask that you try to avoid categorizing people like that.
JD, let's let JD hang on the line, Rebecca. Let's let my co-host respond to that. Go ahead, JD.
I think a substitute teacher who uses a classroom as a platform to put down a 10-year-old kid who just finally got a family is mentally ill. The circumstances make me think that she is mentally ill.
But that has nothing to do with mental illness. That's somebody who is choosing to not hold themselves back and restrain themselves. That's not actually
she's trying to in a position of power and education put down a 10-year-old kid who until recently did not have a family just because his family isn't the type of family that she would prefer. So to me, that's mental illness.
Well, Rebecca, obviously...
Thanks for the call, Rebecca.
Thank you for the call, Rebecca. Obviously, I am on your side on this one. I think there are plenty of mentally ill people, even many that might think homosexuality is a sin, but they certainly wouldn't get up there in front of fifth graders and say something like that. So we don't know if she's mentally ill or not. What we do know is that she's an ignoramus. She's a moron. She's a hateful person with absolutely terrible judgment, and she should never be around children, certainly in that situation. That's for sure. God, I hope she doesn't have children of her own. My goodness. All right. So I mentioned to you that there's another teacher that had a little bit of an incident. This one involves illegals in the classroom. You are absolutely not going to believe what she did, her actions on social media. It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. This is a teacher in Texas, and it involves Donald Trump. We'll get to this when we come back. You're listening to The Vegas Take on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
Cal Sanders again with Cal Air Cooling and Heating. Are you ready for the holidays? Are you ready for your invited guests, family, or unexpected company? Are you getting those floors and carpets cleaned? Have you thought about your air? I mean those grills and vents, the ductwork behind those vents. This is the time of year you're most susceptible to cold and flu. Many are seeing some of the benefits of better filtration in their cooling and heating system. But if you haven't cleaned the ductwork that delivers that air, you have only done half the job. Cleaning your ducts and vents have additional benefits. If you'd like to reduce the time you spend dusting, call today and get that system cleaned and let us analyze your ducting to make sure it is sealed so that the filtration that you do choose is keeping the air that you breathe clean and healthy. We at Cal Air have many great options with those with asthma and allergies, or you who are just annoyed with the dust. We are the healthy air experts. Check us out, Angie's List, Yelp, Google, State Contractors Board, Better Business Bureau, or our website, cal4air.com.
Cal Air, we'll be right there. 702-6234-AIR.
License number 18001A.
Tina Trenner is back, and she's on 720 AM 1015 FM KDWN every Sunday at 12 p.m. She's sick of the nonsense and has something to say every Sunday at 12 p.m.
Cox Business has fast, reliable internet and voice solutions. Call today and ask how you can get up to a $200 Cox Business Visa prepaid card when you switch. Call 1-800-297-2610. Card issued by Metabank. Member FDIC. Terms and expiration apply.
This is Lorraine Hunt Bono, inviting you to tune in for Breaking Bread with Bono. Join my husband, Dennis Bono, as celebrities share with him their intimate and humorous stories. Saturdays, 5 to 6 p.m., right here on KDARN.
Eye on Washington with Marilee Joyce, taking Nevadans to Capitol Hill for the latest on the federal issues that matter most to you.
Eye on Washington, Saturday morning at 9:30 on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
Today is expected to reap a record windfall of more than $9.4 billion in sales. Here's correspondent Karen Kafer.
Overall, Adobe Analytics says Thanksgiving and Black Friday rang up $11.6 billion in online sales, including a record $2.9 billion in sales off of smartphones on Black Friday. Their forecast for today, another $9.4 billion in sales, which would be a record breaker for the day.
The Institute of Supply Management reports activity at America's factories contracted for a fourth straight month in November. Survey respondents cited ongoing economic uncertainty and confusion over the trade relationship with China. Spending on construction projects fell 0.8% in October, dragged down by declines in apartment and multifamily home building. Commerce Department reports private construction spending down 1% in October. Wall Street down about 200 points. I'm Mike Moss.
It's time to check the roads in the KDAWN Traffic Center.
This report is paid for by Doctor-Patient Unity, slowing on the 215 Southern Beltway eastbound between Jones and I-15. And the crash in the North Valley on Jones at the 215 Northern Beltway. Also, a hit-and-run accident investigation continues at Tropicana at Spencer Street. Watch for police presence in the area. As surprise medical bills bankrupt Americans, Jackie Rosen demands insurance companies pay their fair share and opposing their rate-setting proposal to cover less of your medical care. Tell Jackie Rosen thank you and keep fighting. I'm John Michaels from the KDAWN Traffic Center.
Does your child love math? Do they just love math so much that once they finish their homework, they want to work on extra math problems just for fun? Anyone? If you answered no, then you are not alone. While your child may not think math is important for their future, we know better. That's because Infinity the Math Institute offers the best math tutors in Las Vegas, produces the best results at the best prices for kids of all ages. Infinity the Math Institute does it all. Does your child need prep for the SATs? Right now, SAT preparation classes in November are just $15. Fractions, algebra, geometry, decimals, you name it. Plus, Infinity offers homeschool programs, free seminars for parents and students. And whether your child is transitioning from elementary school to middle school to high school, or preparing for college, Infinity can help. Classes are filling up. Call us now to find out more. 702-768-1777. That's 768-1777. You want the best results for your child? One call to Infinity can have a huge impact on your child's future. Call now. 768-1777. Tell them the Vegas Take sent you.
Update your outdated appliances and save big by shopping cyber deals at Lowe's.com. Now get up to 40% off select appliance special values, like a Samsung stainless steel French door refrigerator for just $9.99, saving you $1,000. Up to 40% off also includes savings on washers, dryers, ranges, dishwashers, and more. Whatever you need to get your home ready for the holidays and holiday guests, shop these cyber deals and more Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through 12/5 U.S. only.
Looking for that perfect new piece of furniture for your home? A New Concept Furniture is the place to start and end your search. They'll beat any price on the internet, and they're here locally, so you can feel what you're buying first. Go to A New Concept Furniture today at 4255 South Grand Canyon to see for yourself the slick, modern, shiny store that mirrors our shiny city. A New Concept. Check out their showroom or call them at 702-570-2240. That's 702-570-2240.
I'm Tony Elliott with the Nevada Department of Transportation. If you're looking for up-to-date road and construction information, be sure to visit our website, nevadadot.com.
The Las Vegas Health and Fitness Chamber, a nonprofit organization, offers many membership benefits to both business and individuals. Reach us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or on the website, vegashealthfitnesschamber.com.
This is Kevin Malone from the Department of Motor Vehicles. Go on our website, dmvnv.com, and sign up for a MyDMV account. You can see all of your driver's license and vehicle registration records in one place and do up to 20 online transactions. dmvnv.com. You're always first in line.
Steve Sanchez, weekdays 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM. KDON.
I'm a 71-year-old woman who lives in Raleigh. I suffer from tremendous anxiety.
Oh, that's our friend Mrs. Goodman, the racist, who decided to call a few African Americans in a restaurant the N-word. Welcome back to the show. It is Sharp and Shapiro. It is the Vegas Take. Glad you could join us. By the way, a reminder, tomorrow on the show, attorney Michael Avenatti will be joining us, and this will be fun. A longtime reporter, journalist John Stossel will be joining us on the show as well. He's a libertarian, I believe. So he'll be joining us as well. And he's been around a long time, a lot of experience in the business. So that'll be fun having him on tomorrow. You know, we just talked about this teacher, this Utah substitute who told a fifth grader that homosexuality is wrong and went on a rant for 10 minutes about how it's such a sin to be gay. Well, now there's a high school teacher in Texas. She was fired, and we'll get to the fact that she's been reinstated, but she was fired for asking President Trump to help get illegal immigrants out of her Fort Worth school. Let me just start off with how dumb and ignorant this woman is. Okay? She goes on social media and tweets at Donald Trump. And when she decided to tweet to Donald Trump, she gave her phone number, her cell phone number, and her home number. And these tweets were talking about getting rid of illegals, these kids in her classroom that don't speak English. She actually thought that Donald Trump would respond to her tweet personally and call her. So starting right there, she thought that these tweets were private. So right off the bat, she's a teacher who probably has an IQ of about 20. She sounds like a complete idiot. Right then and there, it just shows her stupidity. She didn't like the fact, and she tweeted in May to ask Trump to help out the school district in getting rid of illegal immigrants. She said, Mr. President, Fort Worth Independent School District is loaded with illegal students from Mexico at this Carter Riverside High School, and it's been taken over by them. Ooh, it sounds like an invasion. Drug dealers are on our campus, and nothing was done to them when the drug dogs found the evidence. The teacher said in a subsequent investigation that she thought she was direct messaging the president and not posting publicly on Twitter. So clearly she doesn't know how to use Twitter, number one. Number two, she obviously is a dummy. What a dumbass. Okay, if you have a problem with illegal immigration, that's one thing. But this is just a whole new level. I want to play you local TV coverage of this story because I want them to get all the specifics in there, and then we'll talk about it, and we'll take some calls at 257-5396. So this is a local TV station. Her name is Georgia Clark. This is in Fort Worth. She was fired and then reinstated with her job. I don't think she should have been reinstated. I want you to hear this story from local TV about this idiotic woman who happens to be a teacher.
I want to work with students who truly need my help.
After 37 years of teaching, it's been 4 months of stress for Georgia Clark.
You want your job back?
I need my job back, and those kids need me too.
In early June, Fort Worth ISD fired the Carter Riverside teacher for making demeaning comments on social media. In a series of tweets that have since been deleted, Clark called on President Trump to remove the illegals from Fort Worth.
What do you say to Fort Worth's Hispanic community?
If you need someone to help your child graduate, you're looking at her right here.
Just days before Labor Day, an independent examiner released a 76-page report saying that her proposed termination is not justified, is not supported by evidence, and should not be approved. The examiner's report went on to say Clark's tweets are statements of a citizen on a matter of public concern.
Well, now that I've been exonerated, I expect the board to do the right thing.
Any employee, parent, or other member.
For the first time since the release of that report, the school board discussed Clark's termination Tuesday.
And your job is to eliminate structural oppression in our school district.
Several community members showed up to share their thoughts.
You already made the unanimous decision to propose termination, and I hope you'll do it again.
I will tell you this,
But Georgia believes the board has one option: give her her job back.
They didn't follow procedure. There is a procedure when there's a question about a teacher, and it was not followed.
So as she continues her September outside of school, she waits for her return to the classroom, the place where she wants to be.
Do you regret the tweets?
No, I don't.
You stand by them?
Yes. Because frankly, God was saying, it's time. You need to do this now.
There she goes again. God was saying it's time. Hi, my name is Georgia Clark, and God brought me here to get all these damn illegals out of my classroom. It was God that told me to do it. God spoke to me this morning, and these damn illegals that don't speak English in my classroom, they all gots to go. They gots to go. So I tweeted at Donald Trump, and I'm so upset that he didn't respond to me directly. I gave him my cell phone number. What a dummy. These are the type of people that are teaching our kids? Georgia Clark. They didn't follow proper procedure. So what is proper procedure, Georgia? Georgia Clark. So is proper procedure, is it proper for a teacher to tweet at the president publicly that you want the illegals that are in your classroom out, deported? Is that proper procedure? Or is that just proper? Forget about procedure. Is it proper for a teacher to go on social media demeaning illegals, demanding that they not only leave her classroom, but leave the country? Is that proper procedure? And these are some of the idiots that are in the school system teaching our kids. And then, of course, she drops down the God thing. Is that what God would want? Is that what, no, really, is that what God would teach?
That's what lost me, was when she said, God told me to do this.
Because she's a nut job.
That kind of, her true colors showed at that point.
Yeah, God. It's so funny that when somebody says something hateful, and we were just talking about homosexuality and how some, not all, but some on the, on the religious right, they want to talk about how, homosexuality is such a sin, and then they want to talk about God. Like, for example, if there is a God out there, that God would want you to treat somebody different because they're not like you. And now this stupid woman.
No, what she's doing here is she's basically taking blame from herself and putting it on God. She's saying, God told me to do this. It was God that made me do it.
I like it when you do that voice
better,
also.
Mine's way better than yours.
I like it.
I just keep it to myself.
Let's do the rest of that show in that voice, by the way. Hi, welcome back to the Vegas Take. Hey, we're going to open up the phone lines. My name is Georgia Clark, and I'm the host of the Vegas Take.
No, but
let me give out the number real quick.
That being said, I believe she's probably a tenured teacher. If she is, there is a different protocol that you have to go through to actually fire these people. It's much different than the substitute teacher situation.
Well, let me give out the number, and then I want you to continue with your thoughts
fair.
on this. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. The question I raise is, do you think this woman should have been reinstated? If a teacher goes on social media and says that she wants some of her students deported, not just leaving the classroom because maybe they don't speak great English, proper English, but she wants them deported, and she's asking the president for help with this, do you think that woman should have been reinstated, or do you think she should continue to not be able to work as a teacher? What do you think about that? To me, we can talk about the illegal immigration take on this whole thing, but the bottom line is these are human beings. Now, it is perhaps that their parents, one of their parents or both their parents, broke the law and entered this country illegally. But I'm going to tell you right now, if this family doesn't have any felonies on their record and they are paying taxes, but they're not legal citizens, no, I don't think those kids should be deported. And I don't think some ignoramus teacher should go on social media and post that. I think she should remain fired, and she should not be a teacher. The number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation, 702-257-5396. Again, that number to call. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think teachers like this should be out there? Or maybe they should choose another occupation. Maybe Georgia Clark should join a Klan. the KKK. Maybe that should be her new job. I don't know. What do you think about this? Maybe that's extreme. Do you think she should be a teacher? The number to call, 257-5396. Again, that number, 702-257-5396.
Does the KKK even take Klanswomen? Is there Klanswomen in the KKK?
I believe there are female Grand Wizards. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. Maybe a Klansman could call up and ask us about that.
I'd like to hear from a Klanswoman, not a Klansman. If you're a Klanswoman, please call in.
Yeah, I would imagine if you are a Klanswoman, you probably have 3 teeth. What would you say the over-under? You're a gambling man. How many teeth do you think a Klanswoman would have?
I'm going to say 9.
9? I'm
9.
gonna take the under on that. I think you're way off on that one, and maybe we could get some dentists to call in. Hey, if you're a dentist, have you ever worked on a Klanswoman's teeth? You're welcome to call in as well. 257-5396. Look, the truth of the matter is this. We had a conversation last segment about this Utah substitute teacher that told a 5th grader that homosexuality was a sin. It was wrong. That teacher was escorted. She was fired. That was the proper thing to do. I personally believe that this woman who teaches a high school class and some of her students are illegals. By the way, I don't know how she knows that for sure, but apparently some of her students are illegals, and I guess she knows that because some of them don't speak English.
She's in El Paso, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I believe
about
that.
30% of the population of El Paso is,
and that's fine.
Mexican American.
I believe that,
or in some cases just Mexican.
But she showed her stupidity by, number one, going on social media thinking it was a private message to the president of the United States. Like he has the time to read some stupid tweet like that.
You heard her talk. What is she, 68, 73 years old? I mean, I'm sure she's not exactly technologically savvy.
No.
So I'm not surprised that we'll call it a gaffe, that gaffe took place, kind of like the possible future president of the United States, Joe Biden, the gaffes that he makes on a consistent basis. Just love these gaffes, Brian. I'm a big gaffe fan now.
Well, I mean, that's a totally different subject. Joe Biden and a gaffe and a woman making ignorant comments and racist, what I consider to be racist comments about wanting to deport some of her students, completely and utterly ridiculous. These teachers should not be out there. They should not be trying to agitate. They should not be educating our kids.
Gaff.
What they should be doing is getting educated themselves, because it sounds like they're the ones that should be sitting in that classroom and they're the ones that should be going back to school. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Fox News guest making them look like fools right there on Fox News. And guess what? It involves my favorite guy, the idiot himself, Tucker Carlson. We'll explain. We have some audio when we come back. We'll take a quick break. Be back right after this. You're listening to the Vegas Take right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
Imagine a TV news network with facts, not fake news. There is one, Newsmax TV, America's fastest-growing news channel with an incredible lineup. On Monday nights, we have Mike Huckabee's show. Tuesday, Alan Dershowitz is on. Wednesday, Michelle Malkin. And every Thursday, see Bill O'Reilly. So don't miss Newsmax TV. Now on DirecTV, Xfinity, Dish, Spectrum, Cox, Optimum, Fios, Uverse, Suddenlink, and more. Just check your channel guide. Millions are watching Newsmax because it's real news for real people.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-466-9625. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-466-9625.
SportsX Radio Nation, what's up? It's Ken Thompson, host of SportsX Radio, reminding you to catch me at my new time, 8 to 10 p.m. for all the local Vegas sports coverage, plus the national scene as well. That's SportsX Radio on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.
This is Harry Jacobs from Credit Restoration of Nevada, inviting you to join me for The Credit Show, Saturday mornings between 9 and 10, here on the new 101.5 FM and 720 AM.
Listen to the Texas Corners Bible Church every Saturday night at 11 p.m. and Sunday night at 10 p.m. on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
Rich is just a really good guy. The term good egg isn't enough to describe him. He's also certified organic and free range. Rich puts the cap back on everything. The toothpaste, the olive oil, the shampoo, everything. He lets his 10-year-old nephew beat him at virtual tennis, even though he can straight up slay his 10-year-old nephew in virtual tennis. When the toilet paper is running low, Rich replaces the roll on the actual holder, not just on the back of the toilet. Rich is texting and driving. Rich, no. What are you doing, Rich? I was just telling everyone how great you are. Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Shelly, and I am a 4-time cancer survivor. 50% of men and 30% of women will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. Go to cancer.org for cancer facts and information, 1-800-227-2345 for any cancer information you might need.
Sean Hannity, weekdays noon to 3 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM. KDON.
Because frankly, God was saying, it's time. You need to do this now.
God is telling me it's time to come back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. Glad you could join us on a Monday. Always love talking about my really good pal, Tucker Carlson, right? I mean, I just think he's probably a white supremacist himself. And, you know, there's some hosts on Fox News I'm not very fond of. Laura Ingraham, I've called her the racist witch because I think that's exactly what she is. There are some people on Fox News that make the company a lot of money. And it doesn't matter whether you say ridiculous things. So long as you're making that company money and you're getting the ratings, I guess that's all that matters, right? Well, Tucker Carlson, do you remember these comments he made? It was literally a week or two after the Walmart shooting in Texas, El Paso, where 22 people lost their lives at the hands of a white supremacist. This was Tucker Carlson on his television show. Remember these comments?
But the whole thing is a lie. If you were to assemble a list, a hierarchy of concerns, of problems this country faces, where would white supremacy be on the list? Right up there with Russia, probably. It's actually not a real problem in America. The combined membership of every white supremacist organization in this country would be able to fit inside a college football stadium? I mean, seriously. This is a country where the average person is getting poorer, where the suicide rate is spiking. White supremacy, that's the problem. This is a hoax. Just like the Russia hoax. It's a conspiracy theory used to divide the country and keep a hold on power. That's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, it's a hoax. Ask Metro Police in Las Vegas if it's a hoax. Remember that white supremacist a few months ago that was arrested? He had a plan to go into synagogues and kill innocent Jewish people and innocent people of a different sexual orientation going into some bars. Is it a hoax, Tucker? Tell that to the all the people that have lost loved ones that are 6 feet underneath the ground, sadly, right now, at the hands of white supremacists. Those comments alone should have gotten him fired. So DNC Vice Chairman Michael Blake appeared on Fox News, and they were asking him about Michelle Obama's, Tucker Carlson saying that Michelle Obama could unite the Democratic Party. I want you to listen to this audio because apparently Michael Blake did not forget those comments that Tucker Carlson made about white supremacy, and he made Fox News look really bad. Listen to this.
Michelle Obama, let's be honest, is one of the only people who could unite the party's warring factions.
Tucker Carlson with a bold prediction saying Michelle Obama just may be the Democratic ticket next year, despite the former First Lady saying she's not interested. Michael Blake, Vice Chair of the DNC and a New York State Assemblyman. How you doing, Mike? Nice to see you, sir. What do you think of the prediction on Michelle Obama? Would you like to see that?
Well, she's not running, but the core question is, why the hell does Tucker Carlson still have a job here in the first place? The reality is, this is someone who said white supremacy is a hoax. And why does Fox allow him to still be here in the first place?
All right. Well, I mean, his opinion there is that Michelle Obama may get in this race. Do you think that will happen, or
not going to happen? Not going to happen. But I think the core question is he shouldn't be on here at all.
I get it. We didn't bring you on to talk about Tucker Carlson. I brought you on to talk about the Democratic field.
Well, of course, because I'm a coward, and I'm not going to ask a follow-up question about that because I work for Fox News and I get paid paychecks from Fox News. So we're not going to talk about that, even though we're going to bring up Tucker Carlson. Let me tell you something. This guy, Michael Blake, the DNC vice chair, is 100% correct. And I'll tell you the answer, Michael, sadly, and I'm sure he seems like a smart guy. I'm sure he knows the answer. The only reason why people like Laura Ingraham and Tucker Carlson are still on the air with their idiotic, racist, ridiculous buffoonery is because they get ratings. And what do ratings equal? They equal money. But Michael Blake is 100% right. Now, of course, this coward on Fox News didn't want to address that. Of course not. So they have Michael Blake on talking about Michelle Obama, which is ridiculous in itself because Michelle Obama is not going to run. It's an irrelevant conversation. That's the reason why Tucker Carlson is still on the air. And in my personal opinion, whether you get ratings or not, if you say something that harmful, and yes, I do believe saying that white supremacy is a hoax is harmful, and you say something that ridiculous, right after 22 people lose their lives in that Walmart store, 22 people, sadly, are dead at the hands of a white supremacist. And Tucker Carlson doesn't even tone down the white supremacy situation, but he says it's a hoax. That alone, in my opinion, should get you fired when you say something like that.
A hoax means it's not real. Clearly, it is real. What he was trying to say, and I've gone over this a bunch of times, but what he was trying to say is that it is not as big of an issue as other issues in the United States, but it is still an issue. And clearly, it is an issue. There are white supremacists out there, and on a not so much consistent basis, but it does happen. They tend to lash out and commit crimes and kill people and cause terror. I mean, and commit terroristic acts on a consistent basis. I mean, this does happen. But Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity are the top two shows in the country right now, Brian. And when they say things like this, it riles up their fan bases. That's why they say what they say. That's why the sponsors pay the big dollars they do to Fox News, because they know they have this specific 20 or 30 million people in the United States that use their products and follow their stuff, and that they are entertainers.
That's what bothers me about some of these sponsors, because, the guy that's standing right behind me right now, we got a cardboard cutout of him, and I'm glad you brought up sponsors. His name is Mike Lindell.
Well, the sponsors,
and let me just explain what I'm talking about.
They pay the big money because the ratings make the big money a decent investment.
I understand, but it comes down to, and the reason why I brought up Mike Lindell, who's the My Pillow guy, is because when Laura Ingraham attacked David Hogg, she attacked his grades, which was utterly ridiculous. If you disagree with David Hogg's stance on guns, fine. But she attacked him personally on her show. And at least a half dozen sponsors dropped the Laura Ingraham show. So what does Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy, who calls himself a man of Christ, what does he decide to do? He doubles down on his sponsorship of the Laura Ingraham show and tries to sell his pillows, which, by the way, are a fraud. Yes, I believe Mike Lindell is a fraud. I've tried his pillows. They're awful. But that's a separate conversation. So it comes down to this. What's more important to you, making money or doing the right thing? And I believe doing the right thing should be above everything else. And many of these sponsors and many of these companies, all they care about is their bottom line and money, and they will sponsor anything. What does it take for somebody like Tucker Carlson to get fired? When he goes on television and he says white supremacy is a hoax, if that's not enough to get him fired, what does he have to do? Does he have to kidnap a child to get fired? When Laura Ingraham goes on the network and she attacks Nipsey Hussle a week after he died and goes after his lyrics, when she goes after LeBron James and says, shut up and dribble, when she goes after kids from the Parkland shooting, survivors who saw their friends die, and goes after them personally, what does it take to get one of these hosts fired? Other than maybe committing a criminal act, I don't know. And by the way, Greg Jarrett and others that are on that network who have committed criminal acts still have jobs there and they're contributors. What does it take for one of these Fox News hosts to get fired? And sadly, you're right. It comes down to ratings. With Bill O'Reilly, it came down to sexually, doing weird stuff over and over and over, and it finally caught up to him.
That's what it takes.
But I don't think that's what it takes, because it happened multiple times.
The Bill O'Reilly situation is what it takes in that type of scenario.
But there were 4 or 5 different payouts.
These guys have major fan bases. They have consistent listenership. And for a guy like Mike Lindell, let's say it costs him $2 to make one of his pillows, and he sells them for, how much are they? $10, $12?
No, they're a lot more expensive than that. Some of them are $40, $60.
Okay, let's say his margin is 700%.
He's a fraud,
and it's $5 to make it costs you 35. It costs you $5. You make 35 off it. And you have and because of your political views, you have 15 or 20 million people in the United States who support they're like-minded with you. They do buy pillows because everybody buys pillows because they sleep. and you bring in $50 to $60 million a year simply for advertising with Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity. I mean, it's a good investment at that point, and that's why they say the things that they do, because this guy knows that he has a lot of people across the United States who are who even if he doesn't even believe what he says he believes, he still tries to make these people think that he's on the same page as them mentally and politically and religiously, and they pay him for it. And that's the simple thought process for a major advertiser or a major sponsor for a show for a show like a Sean Hannity or for a show like a Tucker Carlson. And that's all it comes down to. It's entertainment, and it's appeasing the fan base because the fan base buys the products that the advertisers are pushing.
It's sad that that's what some people want. They want evil, hurtful things to be said, and they find that to be entertaining. It's sad to me that there are sponsors out there that support this sort of thing. It's sad to me that there are people like Mike Lindell out there that think it's okay and there's nothing wrong with attacking a high school kid who just lost many of his friends in the Parkland shooting and going after his grades. It's sad that there are people out there that think it's okay and it's quote unquote, and you're right, I think. It's sad that there are people out there that think it is entertaining for Tucker Carlson to say white supremacy is a hoax after we lost Americans, we lost innocent people at the hands of a white supremacist, and that there are morons out there that listen to this stuff and love it and think it's great until it happens to them. What if there was a white supremacist that killed a member of your family? What if there was a white supremacist, God forbid, I would never want this to happen, but what if a white supremacist invaded Tucker Carlson's home and executed his family? Would he still think that white supremacy is a hoax? Because that's exactly what happened to many families in this country, particularly those in Texas, El Paso, where 22 people lost their lives. But you see, Tucker won't do that. These sponsors that sponsor his show, they won't do that until it happens to them. Dick Cheney is a perfect example of that because he was anti-gay until he found out his daughter was gay, and then all of a sudden he's pro-gay.
Again, the biggest issue with Tucker Carlson is he said hoax. Basically a hoax is a malicious or humorous deception. It means it's not real.
Well, clearly he was wrong. We got to take a break.
Obviously, people died, so it's real.
We got to take a break. When we come back, Kid Rock back in the news for the wrong reasons, going after Oprah Winfrey. We'll get to that coming up next.
Your home for Sean Hannity, KDWN Las Vegas, KKLZ HD2 Las Vegas, a Beasley Media Group station.
Northeast, high school shooting. I'm Mike Moss. Snowplows are trying to keep roads as safe as possible through the Northeast as a big snowstorm could leave some with as much as 2 feet of snow on the ground by tomorrow. Correspondent Steve Kastenbaum on the big problems in New Jersey.
State employees were sent home at noon across the Garden State. Governor Phil Murphy said conditions will continue to worsen.
When you are on your way home, please take it slow and use common sense and caution.
The state has banned trucks from some sections of major highways in parts of New Jersey.
The commercial truck restrictions on both I-78 and I-80 from the Pennsylvania border to I-287, as well as on I-287 from I-78 to the New York State border, remain in effect.
The worst of the winter weather is being felt in the northwest part of the state. I'm Steve Kastenbaum.
A shooting at a Waukesha, Wisconsin high school. Police say a student suspect had a gun and refused police orders.
The suspect removed the handgun from his waistband and pointed it at the officers. An officer was forced to discharge his firearm, striking the suspect.
The student suspect is in stable condition. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot has fired Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson for lapses in ethics involving being found asleep in a running vehicle.
It has become clear that Mr. Johnson engaged in a series of actions that are intolerable for any leader in a position of trust, particularly the head of the Chicago Police Department.
Black Friday shoppers spent a record $7.4 billion online this year, but heading to the stores in person on Black Friday, once an annual tradition, continues to lose appeal. Cyber Monday today is expected to set a record one-day online sales total of at least $9.4 billion. On Wall Street, the Dow down 200 points. I'm Mike Moss.
It's time to check the roads in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report sponsored by In-N-Out Burger. Watch for slowing for a crash reported on the 215 Western Beltway southbound at Sahara on-ramp, not blocking the through lanes. Also an accident reported on the 215 Southern Beltway eastbound near I-15, vehicles off to the right. And on the surface streets, a crash, injury sustained Desert Inn Road west of Boulder Highway. In-N-Out Burger fresh facts. In-N-Out hamburger patties use no preservatives, additives, or fillers. Just the highest quality beef you can find, because fresh is what it's all about. I'm John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
It's open enrollment season, and Medishare is the Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google Medishare and see if it's a fit for you. Medishare, healthcare you can believe in.
Tuscany Suites and Casinos is a place for locals to win in December. Tuscany is giving away 55-inch flat-screen TVs and free slot play every Friday at 2:15 and 6 p.m. during their holiday drawings. 10 winners each Friday. Plus, every Friday starting at noon, try your luck with hot seat drawings where you could win an Amazon Echo Dot just for playing your favorite games. For more information, visit Tuscany Players Club for complete details. Tuscany Suites and Casinos, 2 blocks east of the Las Vegas Strip at 255 East Flamingo, where parking is also free.
As soon as I got to law school, I realized this is what I've been waiting for.
We call our clients, we hold their hand. It's a hand-holding business. It's what we do.
Sam and Ash, your personal injury attorneys. Find them at samandash.com.
If you call our office, you will be talking to an attorney, if not immediately, within 5-10 minutes. Those 5 to 10 minutes, those are rare instances. Most often it's Sam or me handling those calls.
Anytime anybody is getting legal help, it's because they're in crisis. But also their health is impacted. In many cases, they're in pain.
It's just invaluable talking to someone right away. And so Sam and I are very passionate about that.
If you're not taking time to talk to your client, then you're doing it wrong. I think a lot of lawyers are like that.
You need an attorney that's focused on helping you get to the end and recovery that you deserve.
Really sets us apart is Ashley and I are just regular people. We're listeners.
Find out more at samandash.com. Sam and Ash, because you deserve what's right.
The client is first in everything that happens. That's just how it has to work.
Did you know the human body does not make its own vitamin C? Taking vitamin C is one of the best things you can do for your health, and Aqua Powders is the best way to get vitamin C. Aqua Powder's vitamin C is delicious when added to water and provides you with 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C to boost your immune system and increase your energy. Transform your water into wellness with Aqua Powder's vitamin C, available at Amazon. That's Aqua Powders with a Z, available at Amazon.
I'm good, but I have a story and I don't know where to start.
I'm good, but I feel alone in a crowd.
When the service member or veteran in your life says,
I'm good.
Are you really listening?
I still have nightmares. I'm really not so good. But are you ready to listen?
Suicide prevention is everyone's responsibility. Listen to the veteran or service member in your life. If you are in crisis or know someone who is, call the Veterans Crisis Line and Military Crisis Line at 1-800-273-8255 and press 1.
720 on the AM, 1015 FM. Yeah, now on FM. The only FM news talk station in Las Vegas. KDON. Right now, the day's biggest news stories from a Vegas perspective. This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
All right, welcome back. Hour number 3, it is the Vegas Take. Glad you could join us. Again, a reminder, tomorrow, Michael Avenatti, attorney, will be joining us, as well as longtime reporter, journalist, well-respected John Stossel will be joining us tomorrow as well. I'll talk to him a little bit about political divide in this country. Has he ever seen anything like it? Certainly not in my lifetime. I'm 39 years old. I cannot recall a time in my life where we were so divided politically, racial divide. To me, it's the worst it's ever been, and everybody wants to brag. I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of Trump supporters want to brag about, the unemployment numbers are down and the economy is great. We are very divided as a country, and I do not believe we are in a good place right now, unless you are extremely wealthy. I don't think we're in a good place right now, and I hate to bring up this guy because I think he's trailer trash. That would be Kid Rock. Never liked his music, never liked him personally, says a lot of disrespectful things about a lot of people, so I guess it's not a shocker that he's friends with President Trump. He went off on a tangent, I guess you could call it a tirade, insulting Joy Behar from The View, Kathy Lee Gifford, and Oprah Winfrey. In fact, he said on stage, he had to be kicked off stage, he said on stage that he wanted Joy Behar and Oprah to give him fellatio sideways. That was one of the comments he made. A lot of the things he said we can't even say on the air although the FCC won't like it very much. But I want to play you a small clip. This is Kid Rock, clearly drunk on a drunken rant, talking about Oprah in Nashville. Here it is.
I'm not a bad guy. I'm just an honest guy that says, hey, I like Oprah Winfrey or Joy Behar. They can suck sideways. Oprah Winfrey.
Very classy, Kid Rock. Very, very classy. You are the definition of trailer trash, and I am embarrassed for you. And again, this is a guy who is a huge Trump supporter. He's a Republican, and he's made appearances on Fox News. I wonder if Fox News will have him on again. I mean, when should we be okay with this? Should anybody be okay with this? What would we say if, a musician that happens to be maybe an African-American went on a stage and did the same thing to somebody who was white? Republicans would have a field day with that, and they would attack that person left and right, and they would want to boycott their records and everything.
I remember quite a few African Americans attacking George Bush on a pretty consistent basis who were musicians and entertainers.
Okay, but saying you disagree with politics is one thing.
Bill Maher basically says the same thing Kid Rock says on a and a lot of comedians do. They say the same. These guys are entertainers, Brian.
Really?
You can't hold Kid Rock to a standard and not Bill Maher to a standard.
So give me an example.
Bill Maher, like for example, what he said about David Cook, how he died and how he was happy that he died. That was way worse than telling Oprah Winfrey and Joy Behar to give him fellatio sideways.
And that's not the only thing that Kid Rock said. And by the way, for the record,
these guys are all entertainers. They're saying what they say to entertain, and you can't have a double standard, Brian. You can't say Kid Rock is the worst person in the world who should never be allowed to go on a stage. But Bill Maher is funny because he's a comedian.
Okay,
Brian.
well, first of all, you're misrepresenting my opinions because I said Bill Maher was wrong in doing that, and I thought he was over the line. So you're saying you can't have it both ways.
He says stuff like that all the time that's what comedians do.
No, he doesn't.
They say ridiculous
Kid Rock is
things.
not a comedian.
They say ridiculous things about.
Excuse me, Kid Rock is not a comedian.
He's an entertainer.
He's
Brian.
not a comedian.
He is
There's
an
a difference.
artist. He is a musician.
Yeah, exactly.
So artists, entertainers, and musicians can't say what Bill Maher said because they're not career comedians?
He said that he wanted Oprah Winfrey and Joy Behar to perform fellatio on him sideways.
Because Bill Maher is a career comedian, he is protected. He is immune to saying things about people. But an entertainer, a musician, or an artist can't say the same thing.
So what has Bill Maher said other than that statement, which I didn't agree with?
He literally makes a career saying things like that about politicians, Brian,
like what?
And anyone he disagrees with.
He said that Melania should give him oral sideways. I've never heard him make a comment like that. What are you talking about?
He says things in that vein all the time.
No, he doesn't.
But it's okay.
I disagree.
Yes, he does,
no,
Brian.
I disagree with you. He made that statement about the gentleman who died, who was against climate control and all that sort of. I thought it was inappropriate.
It was extremely inappropriate.
Although you can
he was celebrating someone's death.
And I thought that was inappropriate.
I think that's much worse than telling someone who you disagree with politically to suck you sideways.
Okay, well, you know what? This is the problem I have in general when people do something wrong. They do whataboutism. And now we're talking about Bill Maher. I do not agree with some of the things with everything that Bill Maher says. I agree with a lot of the things he says.
No, all I'm saying is if your reaction is this visceral and negative about what Kid Rock did, then you should have the exact same. You do the same thing with Trump supporters and how they perceive what Trump does compared to when someone else does something wrong.
Why can't they both be wrong?
You constantly
Why can't they both be wrong?
Brian.
Why can't they both be wrong?
I guess they can be. But I think what Bill Maher did was much worse than what Kid Rock has done here.
I'm not going to play that game and say, well, what he did is worse than what he did. They were both wrong for their statements. But Kid Rock was drunk. He was in a drunken tirade, okay? And that's not an excuse. I don't think that's an excuse. I think what Kid Rock said is disgusting. And I think it's wrong. And this is the guy that Fox News has on. And Kid Rock has made many appearances on Fox News. And I don't think Kid Rock is an extremely intelligent person. I think he said a lot of dumb things. And he will continue to say a lot of dumb things because he's a drunken fool.
He's also an entertainer.
And I consider Bill Maher to be a far more intelligent individual.
Exactly.
Has Bill Maher,
since you believe that Bill Are is more intelligent, you give him a pass. You give him a
no,
pass.
I didn't.
You give him a pass to celebrate the death of a multi-billionaire.
Are you not paying attention?
Who donated more to charities than Maher had ever made in his entire life.
You can still donate to charity and be a horrible human being, number one. And number two, are you not listening to what I'm saying? I said, when we spoke about that issue with Bill Maher, I said he was wrong. I outed him out for doing that. I said he went over the line. It's possible for both to be wrong. Number to call, 702-257-5396 if you want to be a part of the show. No, I think Kid Rock was completely 100% wrong. 702-257-5396 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the program. Let's go to Ron. Ron, you're next. Go
What's
ahead.
up, Ron?
Brian, you have no right to put the First Lady in a position like you just spoke to your goddamn come out of your dirty mouth.
Okay,
You
you're
have
not going to
no
swear.
right. If I was the president,
You have no right. You have no right, Ron. You have no right, Ron. You have no right. Let me tell you have no right. You have no right. You have no right to.
refreshing.
You have no right to call into a radio show. You don't have a right, Ron. You don't have a right. You should have taken your medication this morning. You don't have a right,
Hey,
Ron.
that was a perfect call, Ron. Perfect.
Did Ron
call.
hang up? Oh.
Where's your respect?
Oh, there he is. He's back again. The Looney Tune is back in. Ron, did you not?
Where's your respect
Ron,
for the president?
Ron,
If I was him, I would
where's
be
your
on the
respect for this
First
radio
Lady.
show?
I'd be
Pot him down again. Let's wait how long he'll hang on the line.
He's
Let's play a
bobbing
game here.
for apples.
Let's see
as
how
we speak.
Let's see how long Ron will wait on the line screaming and yelling. Now there's somebody, JD, that's mentally ill. Here's a perfect example of somebody that is not mentally right. Would you agree, JD? This man is mentally ill. He's mentally ill.
I think Ron is a very, very passionate individual, but I don't think that he would, in front of a class of fifth graders, single out the one kid who just finally got a family and say that, oh, your family sucks because it's two guys.
First of all, Ron is probably still there,
woman
but
was mentally ill.
Ron is probably still there, but let me explain something. We were talking about Kid Rock, and I mentioned that Kid Rock had said that he wants Oprah Winfrey and Joy Behar to perform fellatio on him sideways. And then JD brought up Bill Maher, and I said, did Bill Maher ever say that he wanted Melania Trump to do the same thing? That was a question, Ron. So I know you're a little crazy. Do you not understand what I was bringing up there? I'll pod you back up if you can calm yourself, Ron, if you're still there. Ron, are you still there? Okay. So you're going to swear again. Do you not understand, Ron, where I was going there? Can you calm down for 10 seconds in your life?
I do like your vernacular. I like your established vocabulary.
So, Ron, I'll give you one more chance. I mean, you sound very calm and very intelligent and very normal. But I'll give you one more chance. So, again, we're talking about Kid Rock. He made some comments about Oprah Winfrey and Joy Behar performing fellatio on him. And JD brought up Bill Maher. And I said, well, wait a second. Has Bill Maher ever said something like that? Like, for example, for Melania Trump? It was a question because that's what Kid Rock did. Ron, do you not understand that? Do you not understand that question that I asked JD? Can you answer me in an appropriate and calm way? Would you like to have a conversation? Go ahead.
Why are you talking about the First Lady like that, pig?
I just told you, Ron. Can you calm down?
You're a pig.
Because I'm
You're
what?
A pig. You're accusing her of being down. Give me a break, man. She is
Ron,
no
are you on medication?
motherfucker,
Be honest.
And you insinuate
Ron, are you on medication? Be honest. Are you?
You should be
Are you
fighting.
Ron? Are you on medication? Holy smokes. Ron, I appreciate the phone call. You sound like a very normal human being. Thank you for calling in. I
Great
appreciate
call, Ron.
it. 25753.
Do you think he was screaming the entire time?
I think he was. That's why we potted him down. The way it works is, we pod callers up and down. And if they're a little crazy.
If that's the case, he should be an opera singer.
Perhaps, yeah. He's got a very strong, good radio voice.
Oh,
number to call 257-539.
amazing.
Number to call 257-5396. Again, the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation, 702-257-5396. You understand why I brought up Melania Trump, hopefully. Do you understand why I brought her name up?
Yes.
Yes. Okay,
Whataboutism. Reverse whataboutism, Brian. That's what you did.
You're the one brought up Bill Maher, not me.
Absolutely. Because Kid Rock has two of his very most successful songs. He actually says you can S my D like 4 or 5 times. That's who Kid Rock is. He said it. I mean, he's been doing that for 20 years, Brian. So I'm not shocked that he said the same thing to Oprah and Joy Behar, who he definitely disagrees with politically. But I don't think it's as bad as Bill Maher literally saying, "Oh, thank God that David Cook is dead." I think that's way worse.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, we'll take a quick break.
All right.
When we come back, what do you make of this story? This is interesting, and it involves Colin Kaepernick and Thanksgiving. We talked a lot about Kaepernick and his workout a few weeks ago. Well, he's up to it again, making more appearances. This one will lead you to believe that he is not serious about getting back into the NFL. Not a shocker there. We'll talk about this when we come back. You're listening to the Vegas Take on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
Join Coach Harvey Hyde and Chuck Hayes Saturday evenings from 9 to 10 p.m. for Trojan Football Report, presented by South Point Hotel and Casino, here on 101.5 FM and 720 AM KDWN, where Las Vegas comes to talk.
I'm attorney Glenn Lerner. After being a personal injury attorney for 28 years, I've learned a lot of things about insurance companies, and there are a few things I trust more than them. For example, I trust a rabid cobra protecting her babies. I trust a hungry grizzly bear with a steak in my pocket, and I trust a shark in my hot tub.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Get the picture, hurt in a wreck, and need a check? You know who you can trust. Or Lerner and Rowe.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 877-1500.
Scott Guido, managing attorney. Kevin Rowe is only licensed in Arizona, New Mexico, Oregon, Washington, and Illinois.
Hi, this is Harvey Blankfeld, host of Las Vegas Real Estate Now. We are saying farewell to Tuesdays at 9 a.m. and moving to Saturdays at 11 a.m. Please do tune in every Saturday at 11 a.m. and learn about real estate right here on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDON, the talk of Las Vegas.
And now a message from the traffic cone you ran over on Blue Diamond last week.
Okay, ow, that hurt. I know, you're in a hurry, but I could have been killed. Look, I have a wife and a baby cone on the way. I'm out there risking it all. And for what? I'll tell you. Southern Nevada's economic future. I'm helping the I-11 get built and the Centennial Bowl. So show a cone a little love.
Love the cone. For road construction details, visit seeingorangenv.com or call 702-928-CONE.
I can't believe he found them.
He seems sorry.
We very clearly told him not to look up there.
I'm honestly impressed that he was able to do it.
Right? What, did he balance on that big chair?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he'll just know what his gifts are this year.
I really thought we had hidden them well.
If they can find their presents, they can find a gun.
911, what is your emergency?
Every day, 8 kids and teens are unintentionally killed or injured by loaded and unlocked guns. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and End Family Fire.
1 in 3 adults in America have pre-diabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Years 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mama. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
Sean Hannity, weekdays noon to 3 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM. KDON.
Why the hell does Tucker Carlson still have a job here in the first place?
That's a good question. Welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us. By the way, some interesting news involving the Donald Trump campaign. Apparently, their manager, Brad Parscale, says they will no longer be credentialing representatives of Bloomberg News for rallies or campaign events due to an open bias. Oh, boy, it's unbelievable. Continuing to probably abuse your position by attacking political opponents while possibly being impeached is maybe not the best way to go about this. It might not be the best decision, but Bloomberg News will no longer be allowed to cover Donald Trump rallies and any sort of campaign event. I really think this sets a really bad precedence. Yes, there are biased members of the media on both sides. We all know that. That's obvious. Any logical human being would tell you that. Fox News is way to the right. MSNBC is way to the left. And yes, you could also make the argument that CNN is to the left as well. But the fact that the Trump campaign is deciding to do this once again, they started to do it with CNN, with Jim Acosta. You remember that whole situation where they took Jim Acosta's press credential away. And then I said within a month they're going to give it back to him. And eventually they did because Sarah Huckabee Sanders got offended up there. When she decides to go, she went after reporters on a regular basis that she didn't agree with. It's called the open press. It is allowed to report the way you want to report. And you know what? I'll say this. You know, I started off the show today talking a little bit about the Review Journal. I talked a little bit about Ed Graney, about how I disagreed with his ridiculous article he wrote about Tony Sanchez. He's biased, but he has a right to do that. we have a right to call him out for that. But I wouldn't say, would I ever say take Ed Graney's credentials away? Absolutely not. I would never say that.
You really wouldn't say that?
Absolutely not.
Honestly?
No, I
Wow,
wouldn't.
okay.
If his credentials were taken away, I'd laugh. But I mean, you know, I
Hey,
wouldn't.
Didn't someone say that about you a couple of years ago?
What about taking my credentials away?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. If somebody did say that, they could go take a flying you-know-what.
I agree.
I could care less what their opinion
Totally
is.
agree.
But the point I'm trying to make is you shouldn't be allowed to take somebody's credentials away because you disagree with their opinions.
If someone told you that your credentials should be taken away because they disagreed with your opinions, would you tell them to suck you sideways?
No, I wouldn't stoop down to Kid Rock. I'm not trailer trash, so no,
Okay,
I would not do that. That's what Kid Rock would do. I wouldn't do that. It's not something that I would do. But what do you guys think about that? I'll open up the phone lines here because I'm curious what you guys think about this. If, for example, Bloomberg News, the Trump campaign obviously feels that Bloomberg News is biased and they're taking their credentials away, and no longer can Bloomberg News cover rallies or campaign events anymore. This was announced earlier today. How do you feel about that?
I mean, that's actually it's a really big deal.
702-257-5396 is the number to call. Again, if you want to be a part of this conversation, do you think that the president or anybody for that matter should take press credentials away for somebody, whether it's a sporting event or a political event? Do you think that should be allowed? Are you okay with that? That number again, 257-5396. I am very uncomfortable with it. I don't think it's right, no matter whether you have bias or not. Everybody in the media, to an extent, is going to have some bias. Yes, if you are a reporter, you shouldn't be biased and you should be reporting on the news. But if you are a talk show host, if you do one of those shows on CNN or Fox News after 5 p.m., everybody is biased. Everybody's going to have opinions, some of which you're not always going to agree with. But for the Trump campaign to be taking credentials away, they tried it with Jim Acosta with CNN, and that didn't go over very well. And now they're doing it again. Now they're doing it with Bloomberg News. And they are saying that representatives of the Bloomberg News are now not allowed to cover rallies or campaign events due to an open bias, which I think is completely and utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's a bad deal because it hits Bloomberg, Michael Bloomberg, where it hurts. It hits him in his pockets.
Right.
How many clicks were they getting from those from the coverage, and how many writers, the beat writers, they had to put their opinions out there? And now those clicks are going. It's kind of like what we talked about with Mike Lindell. Now those sponsors and advertisers, it's going to if they really cannot do this, it is going to affect Bloomberg News' bottom line. It's going to affect Michael Bloomberg's bottom line. And I almost wonder if he has some type of, and I'll ask Michael Avenatti this tomorrow, but I wonder if he has legal recourse here. I think he actually might.
Well, look, there are different levels to this. Obviously, if you break the law in an event and you're a journalist, if you are intentionally trying to disrupt an event, that's different. Well,
right.
Let's see what some of the callers think. 257-5396 is the number to call. Again, 702-257-5396. I believe our next caller is BC. BC, thanks for calling in. What do you think about this?
What's up, BC?
What's up, bro? I think Brian's a hypocrite because
I'm a hypocrite.
It's the same thing they did to Alex Jones, bro. What's different?
Here's what Alex Jones did that's very different.
No, what's different? What's different?
Would you like me to answer your question, or would you like to talk over me while I try to answer it? You tell me.
I'd like to do both, actually.
Okay, well, guess what? If you do both, then we will hang up on you. Would you like to stay on the line and have a conversation, or you want to be rude? Which one is it?
Power out that way. Go ahead.
Okay, well, thank you. That's very kind of you. Alex Jones did something and he was sued for it. And what he did was he said that a catastrophic, horrible event that took place in Connecticut where many people died, kids lost their lives, they were shot and killed. He said that event didn't happen and he caused pain and anguish to those families and parents. And because of that, he was sued and he lost. Now, that is completely different than what we are talking about right now. Completely different. That
so
man.
What?
Now, had he not,
did you just say? Hold on.
Had he not lost the lawsuit, it would have been a problem.
Did you just say so what? You're okay with somebody doing that?
Because all these agencies have been caught with. Or
find me another agent. Find me another agency that you're the one who brought him up, not me, my friend.
Okay, I will.
Find me another agency that said that one of these horrible, catastrophic shootings didn't happen.
From getting into a ranch, bro. I'll tell you right now. Did you ever see the footage of the fake news footage of the Gulf War? CNN, MSNBC.
The fake news footage of the Gulf War.
And the guys are laughing on the sidelines.
What the hell are you talking about? You're
talking
comparing
about
that
stuff
to
you don't
Alex
look up.
Jones?
I think he's talking about
Operation
I
Northwoods
think he's
about
talking
a month
about
ago. Did you ever do that? You don't even
the moon
research
landing,
anything, man.
I don't research anything, man. You just brought up Alex Jones, and you're trying to compare that to footage that CNN showed 20 years ago. No, you
Alex
listen, man.
Jones
No,
landed on the moon.
you listen. No, you listen, man. You have a low IQ. You have a low IQ, and the fact that you defend Alex Jones makes you a complete jackass. Bye. The fact that you call in and you defend Alex Jones makes you a complete imbecile, BC.
Great call, BC. And it's different because Alex...
How was that a great call? What did he say that was great there?
Alex Jones...
What did he say that was great?
Chill out, Brian. Alex Jones...
How was that a great call?
When he goes on air and says that this thing didn't take place, and say you're a loyal Alex Jones listener, and he has a cult following. I mean, he's a syndicated host. And let's say you email or you reach out to one of these families, and their son actually did die, or their daughter actually did die, and you're telling them because Alex Jones says that he didn't, that this did not take place. I mean, that would be an emotional issue for a family member like that. So I understand why Alex Jones had his credentials taken away.
BC doesn't understand that.
Well, no,
BC was calling from a doomsday bunker. That's what it sounded like.
It's possible.
Yeah.
But
let's take one more quick call.
The thing with Bloomberg is a really big deal because it does affect his bottom line.
Let's take one more quick call. Let's go to Stuart. Stuart, thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
What's up, Stuart?
Hey, Chris Rock is totally wrong. That's all I got to say about him. But as far as taking the
what do you mean? What do you mean, Chris Rock?
He meant
to
say Kid Rock.
Oh, Kid Rock. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry. You're
That's
right.
okay.
I misspoke.
That's okay.
That's all right.
As far as taking the credentials away, yes. If the people in the press room do not behave like grown adults and mature people, and they monopolize the entire press conference,
they're not doing that.
Take the credentials away
I agree with
for
that.
a period of time.
Okay, but Stuart, that didn't happen here. We're
No.
talking about Bloomberg News. They're saying the reason why their credentials were taken away because they don't like the coverage. They think they're biased. Stuart, I think that's wrong. I agree with you. If you are intentionally trying to ruin a press conference, you're right. But that's not what happened here, Stuart.
Here it's kind of like they're assuming that they might do that. And again, you still can't take it away. And it will. This will affect Michael Bloomberg's personal
Stuart,
bottom line.
I got 20 seconds, Stuart. Go ahead.
That's it. Well, I mean, I misunderstood that part of the question. I was just saying
That's okay.
If they don't behave, they got to go away.
Well, I don't disagree with you, Stuart.
That's true.
I think we agree on that. And I think, at times there are reporters that do that, Stuart. Make no mistake about it. But this guy calling in, bringing up Alex Jones into the equation, complete buffoonery. Comparing Alex Jones to Bloomberg News is ridiculous. Is Bloomberg News biased? Probably. Alex Jones bringing up these horrible shootings that took place and saying that it didn't happen. I mean, you want to talk about an idiotic take. Congratulations, BC. We got to take a break. When we come back, we are going to be talking about a football player in the NFL that's betting on games. This is a big one. We'll take a break. Be back right after this.
Hunter says he is prepared to plead guilty to misusing campaign funds. He denied the charges for years and called them part of a witch hunt. Hunter's wife already admitted guilt in the misuse of hundreds of thousands in campaign money. The Supreme Court is considering whether to dismiss the first gun rights case it's heard in nearly 10 years, a case involving restrictions on transporting weapons. More from correspondent Ariane DeVoe.
It was immediately challenged by people who said that it was too restrictive. It was unconstitutional. But then the law was changed. So now New York City wants to dismiss the case, get rid of it. But others, including the Trump administration, they want this court to issue a broad ruling and expand gun rights.
From Maine through Pennsylvania, a snowstorm has closed schools and offices and canceled or delayed thousands of flights today. The Dow was down about 180 points. I'm Mike Moss.
It's time to check the roads in the KDON Traffic Center.
This report sponsored by Indeed.com. A crash on the Western Beltway southbound Sahara on-ramp, still a factor. Also an accident on the 215 Southern Beltway eastbound near I-15. And in northwest Las Vegas, a crash reported Craig Road west of Durango Drive. Injury sustained. Police and fire were at the scene. You're in charge of hiring. Let Indeed's customized screening tools help fine-tune your shortlist. You can get moving to your other to-do list. Post your next job at Indeed.com/hire. I'm John Michaels from the KDON Traffic Center.
Warning. This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. The world is changing. Isn't it time smoking changed too? Vuse Alto is a vapor product offering you a satisfying alternative to cigarettes. Simple to use, surprisingly quiet, and impressively powerful. Our best vapor yet at our best price ever. 99 cents plus tax at participating retailers. 99-cent offer applies to Alto device. Pod sold separately. Underage sale prohibited.
Your dental benefits may expire soon, and now's the perfect time to use them before they do. AQ Dental Services has the experience and on-site lab to help make your smile reflect a new and improved you. AQ Dental has an on-site tooth designer, 3D scanner, and they can craft the smile of your dreams. Make an appointment today at 702-565-6000. If you have a problem with your teeth and you don't know what to do, pick up the phone and call AQ. 702-565-6000. 702-565-6000 or visit aqdentureservice.com.
Shop Lowe's.com cyber deals for gifts perfect for those on your list. Now you can save $80 on a DeWalt 2-tool 20-volt max brushless cordless combo kit featuring a drill, impact driver, 2 batteries, and charger, all for just $149. And get a 200-piece Cobalt Mechanics tool set for just $99. This set is a $500 value and includes tools perfect for everyday projects and more. If you're up in the air about what gift to give, remember, a Lowe's gift card is always a great choice. For these cyber deals and more, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through 12/4 U.S. only.
Looking for that perfect new piece of furniture for your home? A New Concept Furniture is the place to start and end your search. They'll beat any price on the internet, and they're here locally, so you can feel what you're buying first. Go to A New Concept Furniture today at 4255 South Grand Canyon to see for yourself the slick, modern, shiny store that mirrors our shiny city. A New Concept. Check out their showroom or call them at 702-570-2240. That's 702-570-2240.
Rich is just a really, really good guy. The term good egg isn't enough to describe him. He's also certified organic and free range. Rich puts the cap back on everything. The toothpaste, the olive oil, the shampoo, everything. He lets his 10-year-old nephew beat him at virtual tennis, even though he can straight up slay his 10-year-old nephew in virtual tennis. When the toilet paper is running low, Rich replaces the roll on the actual holder, not just on the back of the toilet. Rich is texting and driving. Rich, no. What are you doing, Rich? I was just telling everyone how great you are. Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Sean Hannity, weekdays noon to 3 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM. KDON.
Independent grassroots media is kicking your teeth in. And we haven't even got started yet.
Well, there you go. There's Mr. InfoWars himself. What a great analogy one of our callers made, trying to compare Bloomberg News to Alex Jones. What a joke. Anyway, welcome back to the program. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro, glad you could be with us. Again, a reminder tomorrow on the show, John Stossel, longtime reporter, journalist, really respected among everyone, really, that I've spoken to, will be joining us on the show tomorrow. Also, attorney Michael Avenatti will be joining us in hour number 2 tomorrow. So plenty to get to tomorrow on the show. It's not often that an NFL player is accused of gambling on the NFL, on NFL games, but it has happened. Arizona Cardinals cornerback Josh Shaw is now suspended indefinitely through at least the 2020 season. The NFL claiming through an investigation that bet on NFL games on multiple occasions this season. The NFL made this announcement on Friday. The investigation into Shaw did not uncover evidence that indicated that he used inside information. That is a completely ridiculous statement. Let me explain why. The guy is in the NFL. He plays against all these teams. He sees all these teams. He knows the coaches. He knows his teammates. You're telling me that's not inside information? Is the NFL that complicit? Are you kidding me? Of course he used inside information. You think he's just blind? Why isn't he betting on, NBA or the NHL? No, he's betting on the NFL because he's an NFL player and he has something called inside information. Can you believe this, JD, that the NFL is claiming that, no, there's no evidence to indicate that he used any inside information or any games were compromised? How do they? That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous statement. The guy's in the NFL. Of course he used inside information.
Well, all it takes is this guy. Let's say he's playing a game and he's playing free safety, and a quarterback decides to go deep, and this guy just slows up a little bit and lets the receiver run right past him, score a touchdown, and put 7 points on the board. I like the way this was handled. I think that you have to lay the hammer down. People are like, oh, well, how was Myles Garrett only suspended for 8 games for trying to kill Mason Rudolph with his helmet, which he did do. But
yeah, and then he claims that Rudolph used the N-word, which is a lie.
And then his teammate Ogunjobi, after the last game against the Steelers, just backed that up. He said that, oh yeah, after the game, by the way, Myles Garrett did tell me that Mason Rudolph called him this word.
Yeah, don't buy it at all.
But
Complete nonsense.
I do like the way this was handled. You have to set precedent so that this does not happen again, because if it does happen again, the NFL is at risk. Because it
hasn't happened in a long time.
All it takes is a couple of players like this doing what Josh Shaw did.
I believe it is happening. He just got caught.
I
absolutely
really hope
happening.
it is not happening, Brian.
You're telling me that one of these guys not telling a brother, a sister, a son, a daughter, a wife, and they're not betting on these games. I'm sorry, I don't buy that at all. I bet you there are dozens and dozens of people that are using inside information betting, maybe more, maybe hundreds. I don't know. But the fact that they think this is just an isolated incident is ridiculous. And the fact that the NFL is saying that this guy never used inside information when he is an NFL player on an NFL team playing against other teams, betting on NFL games, you're telling me that's not inside information enough is a joke. By the way, this does not happen very often. Suspensions of NFL players for betting are extremely rare. The highest profile case dating back to 1963, before I was born, before we both were born. His name is Paul Hornung of the Green Bay Packers and Alex Karras of the Detroit Lions. They were both banned for the entire season, and both were reinstated at the end of the season. And actually, Hornung went on to make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Hornung was a very, very good player, and so was Karras, who actually went to the University of Iowa, my alma mater.
And by the way, the most recent case, Baltimore Colts quarterback Art Schlichter. He was suspended back in 1983 for betting on NFL games and other sporting events too, and he also was reinstated the following year. Now listen, Shaw signed a 1-year contract worth $850,000. While that is a lot of money, when you take away the taxes, paying your agent, paying your bills on that, it's still a lot of money, but for living that type of lifestyle, I'm sure he was looking for an extra way to make a few bucks. The NFL is not going to give us the details. They're not going to tell us how he made the bets. Were they legal bets? Were they through a bookie? Of course, they're not going to say he had inside information, because if a story came out that he might have fixed a game or he might have had inside information and made a lot of money on a game and might have even moved the line, the NFL is not going to release that information. Why? Because it makes the NFL look bad.
Well, especially now with gambling being legalized in 19 states. Before, you could isolate it to just Vegas and maybe an underground bookie, but now you've got actual casinos all over the country. You have thousands and thousands of casinos that are now taking action, not just in person, but also online. So the NFL has to, if this is an issue league-wide, it has to be taken care of immediately, or the NFL is at risk, legitimately at risk.
Speaking of football, and I think the NFL looks really bad with that investigation and the way everything came out. So Colin Kaepernick spoke at an un-Thanksgiving celebration criticizing the United States. What a shocker, right? What a shocker. He spoke at this People's Sunrise Ceremony, also known as the Un-Thanksgiving, on Alcatraz Island in San Francisco, celebrating the 50th anniversary of Native Americans occupying the famous island, which previously served as the site of course, that very famous federal prison. He said the U.S. government has stolen over 1.5 billion acres of land from people. Thank you to my family. I'm with you today and always. He said he spent the morning with the People's Sunrise Ceremony on the 50th year anniversary of the occupation of Alcatraz. The guy shows up at this event, an un-Thanksgiving celebration. He shows up in a workout. We all know the shirt that he wore. We all know the escapades that happened before and after that workout. Nobody, and I mean nobody, can convince me that Colin Kaepernick is serious about getting back into the NFL based on his behavior, based on his actions, based on the outfit that he wore, based on the fact that they changed venues in that workout. Now he's showing up at this un-Thanksgiving celebration. I'm sure the NFL just can't wait to get this guy back into the league. If the guy wanted back in the league and if he was serious about it, he wouldn't have worn that shirt. He wouldn't be going to events like this, and he'd be doing everything he could to get back in the league.
Or he would be at the XFL or a different arena league of some sort, or a lower level league, trying to prove himself that he still has it, that he can still play the game well. He's all he wants is attention. Everything is it's a publicity stunt.
To me,
for
he's
him
no better.
constantly.
He's no better than the Kardashians
and I hope
or Paris
he's not
Hilton.
getting paid for it. But actually, he is getting paid for it. Really, Nike. For all we know, Nike is telling him to go to these events and just cause problems because they're paying him $20 million a year.
To me, he's no better than Paris Hilton or the Kardashians, only I would say he's worse because if you talk to the Kardashians, maybe off camera, they would probably admit that, they just act stupid and do these things and their show's all scripted and they're trying to make money. Kaepernick will never admit that.
But they're also not trying to sway people's political opinions.
No.
And they're not trying to paint every single police officer like they are against African Americans or that they're pigs. I mean, Colin Kaepernick is literally trying, he's an agent of chaos. He is trying to cause problems constantly. The Kardashians are not trying to cause problems. They're making money because their lifestyle is so ridiculous, and that's fine. But
that's why I said
I would say Kaepernick is so much worse than the Kardashians.
Well, that's why I said. That's what I said. I think he is worse than the Kardashians. The Kardashians will admit what they're doing, and Colin Kaepernick will say, he's talking about his oppressed people, and that's all fine and dandy, but his behavior and his actions speak louder than his words. And I think Colin Kaepernick is not an extremely intelligent person. I think his behavior proves that. And I think there are many people, many African Americans in the NFL that have done far more to try to solve the problems between minorities and law enforcement than Colin Kaepernick has. And he's profited plenty off the field. And I think at this point, he has absolutely zero credibility. He also said it's been 50 years since this occupation, and that struggle has continued for that 50 years. It's our responsibility to honor our ancestors and honor our elders by carrying on that struggle. Don't let their sacrifices be in vain. That's why it's important for all of us to be here today to show that we are together and unified. Solidarity. So is Colin Kaepernick showing that we're unified and we have solidarity when he wears pig socks? Is Colin Kaepernick showing that we're unified when he wears a Fidel Castro shirt? Kunta Kinte shirt? Is that making people unified? Is he helping to bring people together? The answer is no.
He's doing the exact opposite.
The exact opposite. The exact opposite.
He is trying to isolate one group of people and put them against another group of people. He is literally trying to divide. Whatever he's saying, I mean, it's a total projection. He's not doing anything he's saying.
No. I mean, I'll say, I've said it before, I'll say it again.
And it's disgusting. The fact that he's getting all the attention he gets to me, it's very, very embarrassing.
I've said it before and I'll say it again, and I agree with you. He has zero credibility at this point, and anyone who thinks that he is a credible person at this point, you are sorely mistaken. If you believe in the, I guess you could say, people taking a stand and wanting to raise awareness and wanting to have, minorities treated better by law enforcement, I'm with you on that. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about Colin Kaepernick, his behavior a few weeks ago, his behavior since he left the NFL, and it speaks something completely different than the actual cause at hand. And there are many players in the NFL, current and former, that have done far more to help minorities and relationships between them and law enforcement than Colin Kaepernick. And I have zero, and I mean zero, respect for Colin Kaepernick, and it is all based on his behavior alone. Speaking of someone that I have zero respect for, O.J. Simpson back in the news. We'll explain why coming up next. We'll take a quick break. Be back right after this. You're listening to the Vegas Take right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDAWN.
Trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors. Past results do not guarantee future performance.
Most people in today's economy are taking a roller coaster ride with their investments. With Vantage Point software, you can remove that dynamic from your investment strategy once and for all. Vantage Point has spent the last 3 decades perfecting an artificial intelligence process that you can put to use today to take advantage of market fluctuations and make money no matter which way the market moves. Vantage Point software analyzes massive quantities of data all around the world in seconds, so you get the information you need to make the right decisions to optimize your profits. Vantage Point is making its exclusive market forecast process available to you for free when you text MONEY to 411-411. That's MONEY to 411-411. We'll send you a link to your free market forecast so you take back control of your financial future. Text MONEY to 411-411.
Go to VantagePointSoftware.com for terms, conditions, and privacy policy.
Parents, you always say you want what's best for your children. If that's the case, then you should be bringing your kid to Infinity, the Math Institute, where every student earns an A or B in math. Our results are proven and they are amazing. The best tutoring service for the best price, whether online or in person, small group or one-on-one. You cannot get better results. Great grades will come when your child truly understands the math. From elementary math to calculus, we have the best tutors, the best materials, and the best results. Now offering free parent seminars on how to better help your child, what is Common Core, and more. Find out why parents are bragging and students are enjoying school again by calling 702-768-1777. That's 702-768-1777, or visit themathinstitute.com today. Tell them the Vegas Take sent you, because at Infinity, you don't get more math problems, you get solutions.
Listen to 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDON, wherever you have an Amazon Echo device. Simply enable the KDWN skill on your Amazon Alexa app. Then say, Alexa, open KDON.
Thank you for opening KDWN. You can choose Play Live Stream.
On the air, on the web, on the KDWN app, and now on your Amazon Echo. 101.5 FM, 720 AM.
Thank you for listening to KDWN.
SportsX Radio Nation, what's up? It's Ken Thompson, host of SportsX Radio, reminding you to catch me at my new time, 8 to 10 p.m. for all the local Vegas sports coverage, plus the national scene as well. That's SportsX Radio on the new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.
Hearing loss is a growing health issue, but did you know that an estimated 1.1 billion young people worldwide are at risk of developing the condition? Limit your exposure to loud noises and use ear protection when attending sporting events or concerts. Also, limit your earbud headphones to no more than 60 minutes at a time and at 60% of the volume. And talk to your primary care physician or other health professional to get a hearing test. Go to www.hearingloss.org. A public service message from the Hearing Loss Association of America, High Health Innovations, and this station.
Mark Levin, weekdays 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now back to the Vegas Take on 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDON.
White supremacy, that's the problem. This is a hoax. It's a conspiracy theory used to divide the country.
Oh, yeah, nothing better than Tucker Carlson to start us off in this last segment of the day. Welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro. Again, tomorrow, attorney Michael Avenatti will be joining us, as well as longtime journalist, reporter John Stossel. One of the most famous videos I've ever seen when it comes to a reporter interviewing an athlete or so-called athlete was John Stossel interviewing a WWF wrestler back in the day. And we're going to play the audio tomorrow before we have him on. And Stossel basically says, hey, just be honest with me. Isn't wrestling fake? And this wrestler socks him in the face. And it was real. He's like, what do you think about fake now? And he like runs away. And I think he got arrested for assault. It's actually a really funny video. I got to ask Stossel about that tomorrow. Legendary. It happened like 30 years ago. So that'll be fun. John Stossel joining us on the show tomorrow. So this is, I guess you could call it the tale of two OJs. Let me explain. O.J. Simpson in one case, and then Olivia Jade. Olivia Jade is the daughter of Lori Loughlin, the disgraced mother who, and she wasn't the only one, by the way, who tried to buy her child into USC. And this Olivia Jade, she's like another Paris Hilton. She's a rich, spoiled brat who's never accomplished anything in her life. She does these stupid YouTube videos, and she's been silent during this whole scandal, so to speak. I wish she would continue to be silent, but she has this new YouTube video that came out. I guess she hasn't had one in months. This girl just makes me sick. Anyway, this is Olivia Jade in her own words.
Hi, everybody. It's Olivia Jade. Welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Back to my YouTube channel. Obviously, I've been gone for a really long time. And as much as I wish I could talk about all of this, it's really hard for me to say this just because I know that it's something that needs to be addressed. It's just, unfortunately, which is also why I didn't know exactly when I should come back to YouTube. But the reason for that is just because I'm legally not allowed to speak on anything going on right now. A part of me is like, should I come back to YouTube right now? Because it's been so long and I actually really, really miss it. Like, I genuinely miss filming. I feel like a huge part of me is just not the same because this is something that I can't take this
anymore. Just let her make a decision.
I'm going to slip my wrist. I can't take this anymore. Who's watching this crap?
She's very indecisive.
Who is watching the Olivia Jade YouTube channel? Who is watching this crap?
She has a lot of questions as she was walking through the rigid grass.
Hi, everybody.
She's doing
but I also didn't know I debated for...
She's doing, Brian, she's doing everything but winning right now. She's doing everything else right.
Hi, everybody. Hi, I'm Olivia. I haven't gone on YouTube in a couple months because of this scandal. It's really not a big deal. My mom was just trying to buy me into a university.
She actually didn't sound very Valley Girl there. She sounded, she was, a little meek, very soft-spoken.
She sounds extremely intelligent.
You're making fun of a meek, soft-spoken woman who's trying to make a couple of life decisions.
No, I'm not making fun of You know what I'm making fun of?
The road less traveled, Brian.
No, I'm making fun of a rich.
She's not sure which path to go down.
Okay, I'm making fun of a rich, spoiled brat teeny bopper who is a wannabe Paris Hilton who is never going to accumulate to anything as far as giving back to society. She is a Nimrod. She is a moron. She shouldn't go to college. I would be willing to bet you if her mommy or daddy didn't do the work for her, she probably couldn't even pass a class in college, and she has no business, and I mean no business, attending USC. I would love to know what her real grades were in high school. My question is, are people really watching this garbage? Does somebody actually, wow, I can't wait till Olivia Jade posts a YouTube video. God, I've really missed her videos because they're so informative and they're so entertaining. Like, what does she talk about on her YouTube page? Hi, everybody. So this is the makeup I put on today. And my mom is doing another movie next. Like, what is she talking about on her YouTube page? What person would want to listen to her? What a train wreck.
I would guess that if she did a makeup tutorial on her YouTube page, which is actually very popular these days, if she did that, it would be extremely successful, Brian.
Well, Olivia, please go away. Please go away. You are a detriment to society as far as I'm concerned. And your mother is a moron, and she should be ashamed of herself. And you should be ashamed of yourself. Speaking of USC, let's talk a little OJ. What do you think, JD? Let's go a little OJ route. So OJ is a fantasy football fan, right?
The other OJ.
Yes, the other OJ, OJ Simpson, who, in my personal opinion, is a double murderer and is living the high life in Las Vegas, living in Summerlin, playing golf every day, drinking wine, and losing money on fantasy football. So he tries to give people tips on fantasy football. Maybe he could give people tips on how to commit a double murder and get away with it. But OJ back in the news, back on Twitter. This is OJ in his own words. He hasn't been having a very good fantasy football season, as far as I know. Here is OJ Simpson himself talking about the 49ers-Ravens game.
Well, I tell you what, Baltimore Ravens just won on the end of the game field goal. Lamar Jackson, you're incredible. I mean, you got 4 games ago, you already got 1,000 yards. But 49ers, you have got nothing to be ashamed of. To lose this game on a second field goal, traveling across country, 49ers, you're my team. You boys are really tough, and you should be ashamed. One other thing, coach down there in Miami, after what management did, trading away everybody, for you to be this competitive right now, you've done a hell of a job, Coach. You guys, you players should be proud of yourself, playing as hard and as well as you've been playing. I'm just saying, take care. I hope the afternoon games are as good as these morning games. Take care.
By the way, why does OJ always say that? I'm just saying, take care. Absolutely. What if he said that?
No, what he's trying to say is, take what I have to say as a grain of salt.
What if he said that in the courtroom?
But this is my opinion.
What if he said that in the courtroom 25 years ago? Mr. Simpson, what do you like to plead? I'm just saying, not guilty. I'm just saying. Like, what if he said that in the courtroom?
He actually might have. It's possible.
I'm just saying, Johnny Cochran and Robert Shapiro got me off with double murder. I'm just saying.
I really want to handicap a couple of games with OJ on air. Really bad. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, well, if I asked him questions, it probably wouldn't just be about football. It'd probably get into some other things also.
I'm a big enough guy that I don't think he would try to attack me. And if he did, I feel like I could handle myself pretty well.
If you were, this is the question. OJ, if you were so innocent and had nothing to do with the murders of your ex-wife and Ronald Goldman, can you please explain to me why you were in a white Ford Bronco in a police chase with a gun? Can you please explain to me? Or you were just so broken up and so hurt that your ex-wife lost her life. The same ex-wife that you beat up.
I think he was worried about losing some sponsors.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it was.
Yeah, and he didn't want
he was afraid he wasn't going to be a Naked Gun 33.
He was worried about that. Him and Leslie had a good relationship. He was promised, I think, 9 for the 8th one. And
by the way, OJ also left a suicide note, if you remember back in the day. Okay, this is a man who is Mr. Narcissist, who would, by the way, would never commit suicide. He would never take his own life. He thinks too highly of himself. He is a psychopath, a complete and utter psychopath. And I hope he loses every fantasy football season from here on out. And, look, there's no obvious. I'm stating the obvious here. He would not have gone to jail for that Palace Station thing if not for what happened many years ago. There's no doubt that Metro Police did everything they could to put him behind bars, and they did a very good job of doing that too. And I don't feel sorry for OJ at all. But with that being said, the fact that it bothers me. I can't imagine, how others feel that were, like the Goldmans and, Nicole Simpson's family, knowing that not only is he out of jail now, but he's living the good life in Las Vegas, living in Summerlin, playing golf every day. He's playing more golf than Donald Trump. I don't think it cost OJ $115 million, but OJ's actually playing golf every day, living the good life, going to these wine bars and doing these stupid fantasy football videos. I'm not going to lie to you. That bothers me because I do believe he killed those two people. I do believe he committed double murder. And by the way, he was convicted, or I should say he was found guilty in the civil suit. Very difficult to be found guilty in a civil suit responsible for the deaths of two people and yet be found not guilty in the criminal case. I think we could all put 2 and 2 together there. This is a man who is a psychopath who I don't find to be extremely intelligent, and he's a murderer. He's an animal, as far as I'm concerned. Sadly, he lives in our community, and he calls Las Vegas his home. It's funny, right? When you're on probation and you want to stay out of trouble, I would usually recommend that Las Vegas might not be the best place to live. It is a 24/7 lifestyle with alcohol and gambling and everything else. I really hope O.J. Simpson screws up again. And I hope he doesn't hurt anybody in the process. I hope he only hurts himself. But I hope that guy screws up, whether it's a DUI or he gets caught with drugs or something. I really hope he breaks the law without hurting somebody else, only himself. I really hope he breaks the law. I hope he violates his probation, and I hope he dies in prison. I really do, because he does not deserve to be out in public. He does not deserve to be on the streets. I've always felt that way about this guy, and it is amazing to me that there are still people out there that think he is this great, innocent man. Yes, there are people out there that think that. And, in our justice system, there's no question that minorities are treated differently. But in this specific case, if you are a minority but you have a lot of money, you have a much better chance of getting out of it scot-free. And O.J. Simpson had a lot of money. He, at the time, was one of the most recognizable people on the planet. And if he was not O.J. Simpson, if that was just a regular, everyday, ordinary person, he would be in jail probably for 30 or 40 years, maybe longer. But money can buy you a way out of jail. It's the way our justice system works. If you have the best attorneys and you have, people on your side that are very good at what they do and you're paying a lot of money to do it and you also happen to be a celebrity, all you need is some dumb jurors.
And apparently it can cure HIV.
Apparently. But you could, with magic. But if you're a one dumb juror, that's all it takes. All right, guys, we're going to take a 21-hour break. We will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Our guests tomorrow include attorney Michael Avenatti. He will be joining us tomorrow. Longtime reporter John Stossel will be joining us on the air tomorrow as well. See what he thinks about this political divide we have in this country right now. That and much, much more. And keep in mind that our Vegas Take page YouTube is streaming live. If you missed anything, check it out on YouTube. Have a great day, everybody.
Kilmeade, Hannity, Levin, 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN, Las Vegas, a Beasley Media Group station.
Congressman pleading guilty. Snow snarls northeast travel. I'm Mike Moss. California Republican